This is going to be probably the most difficult tier list of them all. The absolute Digibro channel tier list maker. All of the main channel Digibro videos. And when we say all, boy, do we mean all.
All.
You've got a look on your face of, like, stunned, like, oh no, this is the rest of my night.
I've already seen the extension of the list, but, like, just, like, this is going to take hours.
It could take hours.
It is going to take hours.
Especially if we have to debate over any of them.
Yeah.
Because I am obviously hugely biased here. I created all of these, so I have more perspective on it. Like, for me, it's not just a matter of watching the video and making a judgment on whether I think it's good or bad. There's a lot of my emotions tied up in this. Which is why I almost want to defer to you more often than myself, because you have a more fair judgment on this. Even though you watched a lot of these get made and you kind of know what went into them, you have more of the perspective of just seeing the end product and knowing how it is. So,
yeah.
The tiers we have here go from God to shit, but there's also a should delete tier. I don't know if we'll end up dipping that far down, because I feel like if I thought I should delete it, I would have.
It would have been deleted.
But at the same time, we'll see. We'll see how I feel. So the very first thing in here is the Detective Pikachu review. Do you think this is a good starting place, or should we move past it to have more?
I think this is a fine place to start.
All right, so where do you put it?
I would say mid-tier to high-low tier.
Yeah, I would say low tier, because of the fact that it is, for one thing, it's just trailer footage, because there's nothing else I can
Very
use.
little editing. Like, there are some funny editing bits that were unintentional. I remember watching this movie and, like, what was the one bit that I was like, oh, did you do that on purpose? And
it was
like,
lick a tongue.
Yeah.
Right after I said something about taste or something.
It was like
that.
tongue in cheek, right?
Oh, yeah.
And licking tongue was on, and I'm like, that's kind of funny. Did you do that on purpose? And you're like, no.
It doesn't matter if I did it on purpose. Divorce yourself from that.
No,
thinking.
I know.
But the
but like it's just like trailer.
And I mean the script as well is just. I mean, I belted this thing out just to have a video about Detective Pikachu because we saw it. I don't have, like, a strong thesis. It's just a general review. Honestly, it's barely above shit tier in my eyes, but I'm going to throw it into the low tier.
Sounds good.
So next is Dear Artists. This is like a how to market yourself through collaboration or something like that. This one I feel like had an interesting point to it, and I was really trying to create something that would be like an unscripted vlog, but edit it in a way that it would feel like as gratifying as a main channel video. And I don't think I really succeeded. There's a lot of the editing is too fast. It has that older Best Guy Ever video problem of, like, because I was watching it in the editing bay and, you know, watching it over and over again, I really felt like, oh, everything's on screen for just long enough to understand what it is. But if you start up this video, even I watch it now and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? There's so much shit happening on the screen and I can't pay attention to any of it while also paying attention to my voice.
Yeah.
And some of the aesthetic choices were just, like, weird.
It was experimental. It's purple, as you can see.
It also just, like, there was, if I remember correctly, there's a whole part of this I cut where I'm, like, ragging on cosplay sluts or something like that.
Yeah.
And, like, and,
boy, I remember that.
Just generally it was, like, I made this video thinking it seemed like a really great point. But after I made it, I realized how kind of limited what I had applied it to was. Like, I was looking at this because it was about, like, the gorillas and Hatsune Miku and how they had used, like, illustrative artists to like, prop up music, you know? And then at the end, I suggest, like, this idea of, like, what if you had a cosplayer, you know, work with somebody else as, like, a multi-headed marketing scheme kind of thing. In retrospect, I realized this is basically how most shit is done. Like, I think there's plenty of this, and I don't think it's something people really needed instruction on. So I don't know. I would put it in mid-tier. I still think it's
I thought
I
remember it being a really fun video. I liked most of it.
All right, Shintaro Kago, Respect the Greats.
Oh my god, this is fantastic.
Yeah,
I love Respect the Greats.
Where do you think you would put it?
I'd probably say top tier, right?
I think I would put it in high tier. I don't know. It's a weird video. It's very different from anything else I've done. The visuals of it are like a little too chaotic. I think I was going too far trying to make it constantly visually interesting and like maybe the ability to look at his art for a little bit longer. It was kind of just like, see, here's the issue I have with trying to talk about an artist is that you can either break down a few of their pictures in a lot of detail and miss the broad scope of what this artist is about, or you can try to talk about everything but in not very much depth, because it's like, well, I don't have that much to say about all of it. I more just want to give you a portrait of this guy's whole career. How can I do that in a way that won't be dry? So I did it in a rap, and I will say that the subtitles are a little difficult to read. I think that trying to actually parse all of that information will take multiple viewings, which is not necessarily a problem. I mean, it's a song. You should probably listen to it more than once anyways. The editing is kind of fun. I think just the sheer effort I put into making this work as a song, like it's literally a semi-analytical, just like exposition piece about this guy in the form of a rap that kind of functions as a rap, which is probably what I'm the most proud of about it. So, I don't know. Where do you think? High tier or top tier? I'm just letting you decide.
Top tier. I love this video.
You
are more hard on yourself than I thought you would be.
I'm always extremely hard on myself. I don't, like, most of my videos, I'm a lot harder on them than people realize. Because people think that because I say that I'm better than other anime YouTubers that I think I'm great. And that's not the case. I just think they're all bad.
Yeah.
Like, when I compare it to the world of other types of videos that exist, I feel like none of us stack up, Like, the idea that Demo is the god of AniTube, when, like, you could kind of argue that he's basically just an inactive donkey, and, like, I would put Donkey on a higher tier than Demo, but we don't even have anybody that good, so...
I mean, Donkey is a fucking legend. Donkey is great, but Demo is, he's pretty great.
He's also a legend, but he didn't do enough.
Yeah.
Alright, Sword of the Stranger. I just watched this part. So I have to, like, explain why this video even exists, because I think this is one of those that was kind of controversial because it was just baffling to most people. It was like, why would you dredge up this 10-year-old movie that nobody's talking about and basically shit on it when nobody was asking? And the reason is that at the time, I was putting together this gigantic project of trying to determine what is the best-looking anime of all time. And I was going to make, like, a top 100 best-looking anime list, and every show that I watched for it, I wrote a visual analysis of. So, like, I had covered... I think I wrote, like, 2 or 3 of these that I never even turned into videos, because they just didn't make sense outside of that context. But with this one... like, just watching the movie back and realizing that it was so much worse looking than I remembered, aside from the really great parts, made me want to make a video about that. But, like, I don't know, not many people really agreed with my stance. And it would have been better sold in the context of, talking about what are the best looking shows, like having something to compare it to.
Definitely, I agree with that.
So, I don't know. I think it's fine. I don't have any problems with the script or the point I was making. I just think that as an individual video, it's like, who is it for, kind of, other than me. So I would probably put it in mid-tier.
Yeah, I would too.
Next up is the art house filler movie. I like this one a lot. It didn't really get a lot of views because, again, this is the one that's kind of like a who is this for? It's really just an oddity piece, which I love. Like, if it was up to me, my channel would basically just be oddity pieces. It would just be me, which is very well what it might become if I have my way. Stuff like this, or the new type video, or the Otaku Gonzo Journal, where it's just I'm out there exploring anime and I report back my findings, on, like, something that amused me. And this one, in particular, I like because of how fucking amazing the visuals are of this movie. Like, it's one of those things where the video looks great because the movie looks great. So I would put it in high tier.
Yeah, that sounds fair to me.
Devilman Crybaby. Anime of the Year. This was one that I had completely rewritten. There was originally a 30-minute version of it that I just thought was, like, ridiculous, and so I cut it down to 18. The editing is pretty, like, you know, I edited it as fast as possible. I needed it done. It was that kind of situation.
Yeah, you had the video out, like, very shortly after we finished the show, which was, like, very shortly after it was dropped on Netflix.
Right. And it was kind of a thing where I couldn't decide how much I wanted to say or how much research I wanted to do. It's like, because I've read the Devilman manga, and I wanted to write this without rereading the Devilman manga, without needing to watch every single piece of Devilman, just to, like, you know, but also to be introductory to all that stuff. So I think the script ends up being a little bit muddied by all that. It's not really a great analysis of Devilman Crybaby. It's not really a great history piece on Devilman. It's just kind of like, here's all the thoughts I have on Devilman all at once, you know. So I'd say it's all right. I'd probably put it in mid-tier.
Yeah.
I think this isn't cool character designs, right? Which Gurren Lagann video is this? We're going to have to go to the channel. I mean, I should have known I was going to have to do this anyways.
Right.
I knew that some of these weren't going to be that easy to determine.
Well, you were very certain that you knew all the thumbnails for your videos.
Well, I recognized the thumbnail. I just don't remember which Gurren Lagann video it's for. 10 Sickest Anime Clips, so it's not even a Gurren Lagann video.
No, it's not.
10 Sickest Anime Clips is fun.
It's very fun.
I don't like the delivery is a little slow. Because I rewatched it kind of recently and was like, I could have done this better. I don't know. What do you think? How do you feel about 10 Sickest Anime Clips?
I think it's fine. I think it's entertaining.
Where would you rank it?
Very different style from you normally have. I'd probably say high.
All right. It's definitely high tier.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? I do remember that when I went back and watched it, I was actually more entertained than I had expected because of the fact that I kind of go in depth about a bunch of the clips. Like, there's this one part where I'm just talking about this Bahi JD clip from Space Dandy, and, like, I kind of give a short history of him as an animator. I, like, go on and on about what about this clip is so distinctive. You know, there's a few clips that I do break down in some detail. So, yeah, I actually do. I like the video a lot in that it ended up being deeper than, like, the kind of memery that I was making it for. I tried to make a follow-up, but I couldn't because Sakugaboru is too flooded with bullshit now.
Yeah. I saw something from The Promised Neverland, like the opening sequence on there, and I was like, this is not Sakuga.
Well, it is literally Sakuga, because Sakuga just means drawings.
I know, but
yeah.
like, this is not something to be spotlighted.
No, it's not impressive.
looks like shit. And it went on too long. It was like...
Yeah, a lot of them do. So this is a great anime director who time forgot, which I would put in God tier. It is my favorite video I've ever done. I really like, again, it's kind of an oddities video. It was born out of me just exploring, you know, anime and finding something interesting. I thought it was kind of important in a way because there really was not a lot of information about this director who was there at, like, a key moment in Madhouse's history. And, like, it's totally understandable that he would have been forgotten by time, but he shouldn't be, you know? And I presented it in a way that takes you through the narrative with me. So it's like you're given a reason to care because you kind of follow along with why I care. Mm-hmm. And, you know, it's got a lot of historical stuff. I did a ton of research. I talk about his whole filmography just so that we can, like, you know, get a sense of him. I'm very proud of it. And it also looks great. Because, again, it's another one where because the movies look really good, the video looks really good.
I love this video. I would watch it every day.
It's definitely, like, the closest thing I have to, like, my sequelitis in my mind. Of, like, something that's almost that good. Of, like, wow, this really made a point that you can come back to and it'll always survive as, like, the ultimate video about this guy, you know? My Makoto Shinkai... the genius hack filmmaker. This one has... I do have issues with this one, because the way I wrote this one...
Why is the thumbnail a Ghibli?
Because of YouTube. because YouTube killed my old thumbnail, which was like a down shirt shot of
the girl from Your Name. Right?
So fucking annoying. But yeah, this video was, the way I went about it is like I had always wanted to talk about Makoto Shinkai in a lot of depth, and I wanted to go through his films one at a time. But what I should have done was watched all of them first and then wrote my script, because I didn't really know what my overarching narrative was going to be. And so it keeps kind of having to recurse back on itself, where I talk about a movie, I talk about its strengths and weaknesses, then I talk about the next one, and then I have to relate it back to the previous movie, and then, you know, I keep having to, like, go back and relate things to each other, whereas if I had had a full portrait of this before I started writing...
Yeah, it would all kind of flow more naturally.
Right. It wouldn't have had to be so long.
Yeah.
I would have known which details I wanted to fixate on instead of others. Because I literally was writing the script as I watched the movies. I would, like, watch one, write a piece on it, watch the next one, write a piece on it.
This was, like, one of the first big videos that I got to, like, see
the production of.
The back room of it, and it was definitely interesting.
I still like it a lot. You know, I'm not going to say it was a bad video by any stretch. I'm just explaining why I wouldn't put it in my God tier. Mm-hmm. I would probably put it in high tier, even though I know this is one that, you know, there's some people who really love this video. And, like, it's great for me in the sense that I finally got to talk about Makoto Shinkai at length after following his career for a long time. That's another thing. I wish I had really fixated on that, because that was part of what, the mistakes I made in that video are what informed the great anime director who time forgot. Because when I made that video, I was like, let me really make sure there's a narrative element to this, mm-hmm. so that you get why this matters. Because in the Shinkai video, I should have, you know, involved the fact that I had been personally following this guy for so long, and, like, my emotions, so that you could feel it a little bit more. And I think all my best videos have some kind of narrative element behind them. I believe this is The Appeal of Art House.
Yeah, right?
I'm
pretty sure.
Yeah, The Appeal of Art House. I like this video a lot.
It's really awesome.
I think I'd put it in top tier.
Me too.
Just generally, it's an explanation of the appeal of Art House, which is hard to... I think it's just... Most people look at Art House and they just think of it as pretentious shit. And it's like, well, there's a... like, it's not. It's just abstract expression, you know? Anyway, my Girlish Number video. I like this one a lot. Anime of the Year, Girlish Number.
I love that video.
No, this is 1 Million Ways to Love and Hate Anime.
Oh, fuck.
This is the one of the auto thumbnails, because originally it was an Overlord thumbnail, and it didn't work.
Aww.
Like, I put Overlord as a thumbnail thinking it would help, and it didn't really get a lot of views, so I had switched it. Yeah, this one is... I want to say, this one didn't have the impact I hoped it would. Like, it didn't seem to make people understand the point of it as well. Like, because all I do is talk about background art, basically. And it's me breaking down all of the different ways background art can be good or bad, and just how much goes into background art. And then the idea here is that you could extrapolate that to then think, like, man, if I could talk that much about background art, imagine what I could do about everything else. I think I had to have done it about everything else. Like, I think the only way this message was really going to get through to people is if it was a 3-hour video about every single way anime could be good or bad. But I still like this video a lot. I would put it in high tier, probably.
Yeah. Good old Digibro content.
So...
Oh my god, it's really funny to think, like, Devu made most of these videos.
Yeah, Devu edited a significant... I mean, he didn't do Respect the Greats. I don't think he did The Appeal of Art House.
I don't think so either. I think you did that one by yourself.
He did do this one.
10 Seconds
He did this one.
You did.
10 Seconds Anime Clips is me. This was him. This was me. This was him. This was me. And this is me. So it's like half and half so far.
Yeah.
The Let's Argues, all of them I would probably put in low tier. It's just a fun little... They're not memorable, you know? Like, they're fun to watch in the moment.
I can't remember what that one is versus the other one.
Well, that's the Seven Deadly Sin one. Can't you tell?
Because well, yeah, now I can.
Sins. But, like, all of them were just basically created to fill time while I was moving. Like, that was the main purpose of this series, was, like, people had told me I should do it. People were like, hey... The Needle Drop does these videos. They're hilarious. You should do this for anime. And I've been getting told that for months, not knowing that the Anime Man had already started doing it until I had made my first one. And then I found out and was like, God fucking damn it. Like, I didn't know. And the first one I edited myself. So the thing is that I was still hiring Devu as an editor, but we were in a period where I was basically telling him, like, I can't really afford to keep paying you to edit because, like, the editing doesn't enhance the view counts enough to be worth... I was paying Devu a full living wage, you know? Like, that was his job, was to edit for me. But I couldn't... Like, we just... I don't know. It's a combination... It's not that I couldn't have worked out a way that we could have kept going together. It's that I was more interested in going a direction where I just edit my own stuff. I base what I write around what I want to edit, you know? And, like, make more aesthetically driven content. And, like, just the speed at which he could edit and the amount of views it was getting me was not worth the amount I was paying him to me, you know? Mm-hmm. So it was like, well, instead of getting you to do, like, another big video that, you know, might take 3 weeks and only get 50,000 views, I'm just going to give you a whole bunch of these small videos to do until you've found new work, you know? So it was a combination of having work for Devu to do until he was ready to stop being my editor, and also to fill time while I was moving. So it worked for those purposes, and people seemed to enjoy them. You know, his editing made them good. Like, yes. But, you know, okay, this looks like it's just the redirect video for the Plebe and the Weeb, episode 2. Yeah. Should we rank this as a redirect video or as the Plebe and the Weeb? Because I didn't edit the Plebe and the Weeb, and everything that makes this episode great is Jesse. This is the Whoa Those Tits episode. It's the... Yeah. It's like the best...
I think we should just rank the episode, right?
The actual Plebe and the Weeb?
Yeah.
Alright, well, if we're ranking the episode itself, it's God tier.
Yeah.
Definitely. So we'll go ahead and just put that in God tier. Alright, this one is There Is Too Much Anime, which was just kind of an unscripted... This kind of was the precursor to We Have Accepted Mediocrity, in that it was an unscripted video I gave to Devu, I think... Maybe I edited this one myself. I don't remember. This one is just kind of a whatever. I would probably put it in mid to low tier.
Yeah, I don't remember much about it.
It was just to make a point that I would later go on to make better in other places, you know. Which Psychopath is this? This is Psychopath in the Spirit of the Law. I remember this one being pretty good. It's like... Because this was from my favorite anime series, so... Starting here with Kill La Kill, towards the back end of 2017, when I basically just had no ideas for what I wanted to do with the channel for a while, and I was like, I really want to talk about my favorites, but I don't want to go and make, like, gigantic multi-chapter videos about them. I want to talk about what is their core appeal to me, and, like, just nail it. Because a lot of these shows I had done reviews of previously that were very scattershot. Like, if you go watch the Psychopath review, which we'll talk about later, you know, it's like, it dabbles a little bit in analysis, but it's mostly just a critical review. In fact, I think it's even called a critical review. And it's not that interesting. So, like... And then I made my big Psychopaths vs. Psychopaths 2 video, which covers a whole lot of points, but it's mainly to talk about the quality of these two shows. These videos, I wanted it to not be about the quality of the show at all. It's just about what it means to me. Why did I give this a 10 out of 10, you know? So all of these, I think, are great videos because they were extremely gratifying to, like, be able to nail down my feelings of the show into, like, as concise of a script as possible. And, like... For me, I very much value conciseness in writing, and it's not necessarily the best fit for YouTube because, like, it's hard to parse that unless you watch it multiple times, which I would encourage people to do. If you watch one of my videos and something you don't get, watch it again. But, like, you know, I really like that, so I greatly like these videos. I'd probably put them all in my top tier because they were a lot of fun.
It's a great era.
Explosive Payoffs in Kill La Kill's opening scene. This is the remade version of a video that I had originally edited myself, and it had really shitty visuals because it was before I learned about the 10-second rule. Devu just offered to re-edit it because he was like, this is one of your most important videos. Let's re-edit it. I fucking love this video. It's just a 15-minute breakdown of the opening scene of Kill La Kill that just talks about how the timing of everything that happens makes it feel so good to watch, and it's basically the core of what Imaishi's whole appeal is,
Yes.
So I would put this in top tier.
I fucking love the video. It's fantastic.
The Hunter x Hunter one, I just talk about chaos theory and how it applies to the Hunter exam arc. This one might only be high tier. It's not quite as in depth as the other ones from this series. But Ponyo is pure joy. I remember being a lot of fun. And Kill La Kill is what my mind looks like. Probably high tier as well. I don't really remember what the central thesis was other than that the show is what my mind looks like. I believe this is the last high school anime, which I'm putting in God tier. This is fantastic. The most Digibro video that has ever existed. Everything about it is just the epitome of like what... It feels like a video I would have written 12 years ago, but with the quality of writing that I have today. It feels like it's a video that was 12 years in the making, somewhere in the back of my mind. Alright, Giga versus Digibro at Crunchyroll Expo. What would you rank this?
It was a little overhyped. I had fun with it.
It was inevitably overhyped because me and Giga didn't have beef.
Yeah.
Like, Miles set this up, and I think he just thought, like, well, these are two of the biggest guys. Giga is the biggest guy, and Digibro is a controversial figure. People will want to see them argue. But, like, we didn't really have beef, But it ended up being a lot of fun for me because I hung out with him for, like, 3 hours before we did it and had a great time. But, the show itself is fine. It's funny, I guess. I'd probably put it in mid-tier.
Yeah, I'd say mid or high tier.
This Lane one is The Writer Who Kept Anime Weird. I like this one a lot.
Me too.
I think I'd put it in top tier. This is probably the best unscripted video I've ever done.
Yeah, I forgot it was unscripted.
Yeah, totally unscripted. It was just me rambling. Because, like, sometimes I have videos that it's like, I would love to do this, but I'm never going to task myself to do all the research and writing it would take to make this happen. And because it just won't be worth my time. Like, there's no way it will turn around enough of a profit to be worth it. So, but I have... Like, I care. I really emotionally care a lot about Chiaki J. Kanaka. I just don't want to have to watch all of Digimon Tamers before I can make a video about him, It's like... So I finally just fucking threw on a microphone and ranted about him, and it came out good enough that it's a pretty good primer on Chiaki Kanaka, and it has a fuckload of views, so I don't know how I pulled that one off. This is the How Aesthetic video. I'm pretty proud of this one. I love the script. I wrote this one on a plane on the way to LA. Devu edited it, made it beautiful. I think I'd put it in top tier. Yeah. It's one of my good boys. Oh, all right. Here's where we enter shit tier with the midsection of the Made in Abyss podcast.
Boy.
When the show started going downhill and we really didn't have much to say about it, and nobody was particularly wanting to hear us talk shit about this show that everyone was loving. So I would put these ones in shit tier. This is just an unscripted podcast, basically. Where should we watch anime? Again, this is one that just existed to make a point real quick. I would probably put it in low tier.
Mm-hmm.
Which Made in Abyss is this? Number 5, probably low tier. The only Made in Abyss that probably would go in mid-tier is, like, the one for the first 3 episodes and the one for the last episodes. Because, like, those are the only ones where we really had a lot to say. The rest was just, like, mediocre episodic content. How Evangelion Altered Anime Eternally. This is another one that was an unscripted, like... I had this galaxy brain concept in my brain, and I was like, if I wanted to make this a fully scripted... research video.
I need to tally up how many times you said galaxy brain
in the last
past
day.
Couple of days, yeah.
Blame fucking the gaming Brit, because he keeps saying it, and it got me saying it. But yeah, fucking this video. It was like, I don't have time to actually watch every show influenced by Eva. Nor do I have time to research the entire history of anime to make sure, like, I know the basic framework of what happened here, and that's what I want to talk about. Like, because to me, and this is something that I have a sort of disagreement about, say, Econ with, right? Because Econ watched this video and he was considering it very under-researched. And it's like, I intended it to be under-researched in a way. Because what someone like him forgets is that the average anime fan, even on like a deeper level, like the average Reddit core anime fan, just has no concept of anime history. They have no concept of the phases it went through, the importance of certain shows. Like, they just know which shows were popular and are considered good.
Yeah, they just know the waifus from each show.
Like, a lot of people, their knowledge of anime history extends to, well, I know this show is supposed to be good, and I know this show is supposed to be good, but, like, the actual trends, the, like, bigger stuff that was going on, you really have to watch everything to really understand.
Yeah.
And I haven't watched everything, but I've watched enough to have the framework of the picture. And if I wanted to take the time to watch everything before discussing it, I'll never be able to just introduce it to people, you know? Mm-hmm. So that was kind of the purpose of this, is just to introduce into the public consciousness the thought of what Ava did to anime.
Yeah,
you know?
and I think, you know, most people who are coming to your video are coming for that reason, not because they want to see a well-researched, like...
Now, I will say that
video.
The unscripted rant here was not as good as the one in The Writer Who Kept the Anime Weird, so I'll put it in high tier. Another Made in Abyss. This is the most interesting thing about Kiruminzu. I can't actually remember what was the most interesting thing about Kiruminzu.
Right?
Can you? Was it that it had a Taiwanese ending theme? What is the most interesting thing?
About Animal Detectives Kiruminzu is the show's unique take on the structure of the magical girl team, as well as its use of multi-phasic transformations.
Okay. That sounds not that interesting. Low tier, I guess. Which Made in Abyss is this? Weeks 1 through 3. Okay, so this one I'm willing to put.
This is a good one.
I'm willing to put that in mid tier. It's an okay podcast discussion of a show with lots of excitement. The one on Fate, probably low tier. Just, I mean, we were just trying to look for another show to talk about, and it didn't really go over that well because we didn't know enough about Fate. This one, the most interesting thing about Studio Sans again, I don't even remember this. I don't even remember, like, I remember it now that I saw the thumbnail and I was like, that's just Range Murata art. Why am I talking about Range Murata art? Was it just that they animate gooder than other studios? Like,
yeah.
All right, well, that's low tier. Which Shimoneta video? The most interesting thing about Shimoneta. I remember this one actually being something that had been in the back of my mind for a long time, at the very least.
The thing about a boring world where
God damn it.
A commentary on itself.
Yeah, okay. This was just like talking about how the fact that the show got censored was like, you know, just like kind of proved the point that we're already living in something that approaches the world that the show is set in. Mm-hmm. I would say that's mid-tier. It's better than the other ones. Which panel is this? Digibro Rocks Anime Expo. I have no strong feelings about any of my panels, really. They're all fine.
Yeah, they're entertaining.
I think like, I do a lot of Q&A podcast kind of stuff anyways, so I don't feel like they're that much different, but there is, like, a lot of energy. Like, I appreciate seeing that come out of me, that, like, entertainer energy. I don't know. We'll put it at mid-tier. Why not? I'm sure it's entertaining, right?
Yeah, I think so.
The most interesting thing about Gakko Gurashi, I'd also put at mid-tier. That was another one that I had wanted to do for a long time. Like, these two were both, like, I had these ideas about the shows when they came out in 2015, never got the chance to say it, and then just kind of said it in 2017 at a time when nobody could possibly care anymore. Most interesting thing about Rurouni Kenshin, probably low tier, not as good as those two. All right, now we're getting into the old-ass anime cast. I don't even know if you heard most of these.
I've heard most of them.
Okay. Do you remember the Eureka 7 one?
That's, like, one I'm pretty sure I didn't watch. I'm pretty sure I didn't watch Eureka 7.
I don't think the Eureka 7 one's anything special. I'm going to put it in low tier. There's a lot of people who, like, feel very strongly about the old-ass anime cast because they like the sort of nostalgia trip. I think they're hit or miss. I think there's a few that I, like, really cared about and had something to say.
Didn't you record them all in like one day?
No, it was over the course of a little bit, but I recorded probably a lot of them in one day.
Yeah, because I remember like we were chatting at that point, and you had told me that you like recorded a whole bunch of them in one day.
Yeah, I know I did a couple of them at. Actually, maybe I had recorded them all and then had scheduled them ahead because I remember having to release one from the hotel room that we were in. But I know I recorded this whole video was made in a hotel room that we stayed in together. The lo-fi hip hop one. I like this one a lot. I would put it in high tier.
It's really fun.
It was Riding the Zeitgeist, which was a series. It was supposed to be a series. Episode 2 was going to be about Studio Trigger, but I never ended up doing the research I wanted to do.
Classic Digibro.
Old ass anime cast Evangelion. I think this is probably one of the stronger ones.
Yeah.
I would put it in mid tier. Is this just Cowboy Bebop? No, it's Adult Swim in general. I remember this one kind of just being like a list of names. Like it was just me being like, and then this came out, and then this came out. So I'm putting that low tier. Light novels.
I think that one was better than the Adult Swim one.
I feel like I've talked about light novels in a better capacity in other videos.
Yes.
So I'm going to put that one in low tier. Which Pokemon? Oh, this is How Much Do Anime Visuals Matter? This one has some of Devu's best editing ever. Because this was after we had done the commentary on the what is anime and what isn't video, where he had remembered like just the crazy amount of effort that he used to put into editing. He wanted to like top himself, so he did this one, and I remember it looking really incredible. The script is mildly interesting, probably high tier. It's a good video. Old ass anime cast on Otaku. This one's probably more interesting because it goes into a lot of otaku history. Yeah. I'd put it in mid tier.
I remember liking that one.
Moe. I'm sure it's just me talking about how I was the ultimate Moe fag. Alright, so this would, I guess, be... Do we count this as Plebe and the Weeb Excel World?
Yeah.
Alright. Definitely... Ooh, I don't know if it's high or top tier. Because the Excel World one's definitely not as good as the next one that came after it, but it's still pretty good.
I'd say high tier.
The main thing that drags it down is the actual discussion of the show. Like, because it was such a boring nothing show that, like, talking about it was boring and shitty, and Jeff is there, and he really cares about trying to give, like, a sincere review.
Oh, boy.
And Jesse is just kind of, like, in the background making faces. The Lucid Dream World of Kimono Friends, I would put at mid-tier. It's fine. It's just,
solid.
It's just a nice... here's the one about the 10 hottest anime girls.
Video.
So here's the thing about this one. I would have liked to make a much better version of this video. Mm-hmm. It was inspired by Ghost Lightning on his blog's 3-year anniversary. He had made a video of his pick for the 3 hottest anime girls, and it was just like a very short, simple, straightforward thing about these 3 girls. Like he wrote like one small paragraph basically, and I had already copied it on my blog's 5-year anniversary with the 5 hottest. But since this was the 10-year anniversary, I did the 10 hottest. The biggest problem with this is that I made it when I was moving out, and like I was trying to rush it. Like, I think I hadn't realized that the 10th anniversary was sneaking up on me so fast. And so it was like the night before I had to get it done. And all I could find was like shitty-ass fucking low-quality GIFs of these girls. And so like a lot of the video looks like ass.
Yeah,
and that's a huge problem for a show about how hot these girls are.
It's like... pixelated ass.
So yeah, it was just kind of underwhelming as far as the 10-year anniversary goes. It was just kind of like I had to do do so I would probably put it in low tier for that reason. This is the Yuri history one, probably one of the more interesting.
Yeah, I thought that was cool.
Mid tier. How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Skip Akashic Records. I think this is a very important video, so I'm going to put it in the top tier.
I like it.
That's one of my, like, essential Digibro videos.
How many views does that one have?
I think it has a lot because of that thumbnail. Yeah, 680,000.
the best thing to come out of the existence of that show.
Yeah. Gunslinger Girl, old-ass anime cast. I don't remember being that interesting.
I don't even remember that one.
Dot Hack one, I remember, is... Well, the problem with this one is that, like, I don't really have anything analytical to say about Dot Hack. It's just me going through the history of how weird it is that it exists. So I'll put that in low tier. What is this one? Oh, the Dragon Maid Part 2. Part 1, I think, was the stronger part of the two, but they're both good videos. I am quite proud of them. I think I'd probably put Part 2 in high tier.
And Part 1 in top.
Yeah, maybe. The Slime video, mid tier, serviceable slime review. This one, I think I would put in top.
Yes.
I felt strongly about the show, and that comes through in the writing.
It's beautiful.
It was me having a lot of fun. Boogie Pop, probably not that exciting. I don't really remember my discussion of it.
I don't remember much.
I really prefer the one I did on After Dark, where I go through the whole my whole history with it. So that's going in low tier. The Scum's Wish video, it's fine.
I hated this video.
The Scum's Wish one? I thought you hated the Masamune-kun's Revenge one.
I hated them both.
Yeah?
Like, just the ideas of them. Because it just felt like filler content. Like, oh, I need to get a video out by the end of the month. And, like, looking back on it, you know, they're fine videos. Like, the scripts for them
Scum's
were
Wish
fine.
one was 18 minutes long.
Yeah, I just, like, hated Scum's Wish. So, like,
Yeah.
the fact that I had to watch footage of Scum's Wish was kind of like... This
I'm
video
putting
is
it
lame.
in the mid tier. I think it's fine.
Yeah, I was just gonna laugh about how bad I ragged on those two. Cause it's like, they really aren't that bad.
Well, the Masamune-kun one will definitely go lower.
Yeah.
But that one, I mean, it was just the season ended, and so I went through the Mal chart and just one by one reviewed
like,
each of the most
videos have
popular.
a lot of views.
But it was funny because the Masamune one is actually down. It's not actually available. I don't think it's in this list either for that reason.
Well, put that one in should delete because it deleted itself.
Yeah, it deleted itself. I probably would have put it in shit tier. But yeah, it was Masamune-kun and then Scum's Wish and then Dragon Maid. And like, the fact that I ended up enjoying Dragon Maid so much was like, oh, thank God. Like, this justified all of this. But like, I was pretty passionate about my hatred of Scum's Wish. Like,
yeah.
The other one was definitely just like a whatever, like, here's all the words I could find to say about Masamune-kun. Scum's Wish was like legitimate rage.
Yeah.
So that's why I still enjoyed it. The NHK old ass anime cast. This was probably one of the more interesting ones. Mm-hmm. I'm just thinking, like, I can't actually remember these podcasts. I just remember the actual stories and, like, what I know I probably said. So I'd probably put that one in mid tier. Yeah, I know the Haruhi one is considered a favorite.
Yeah, I like the Haruhi one a lot.
And I'm sure the Manabi Straight one is probably great,
one
too.
is excellent. I'm a big fan. That was the first one, right?
Yeah, that was the first one.
Yeah.
I love this video, the difficulties of being right about anime. I would probably put this in the top tier.
Hell yeah.
Because it's a great narrative video. It takes you through just how difficult it can be to get your facts straight, and even then you can never truly be sure, just because, like, even if you get it from the source, you don't know if that source is reliable, you know? So, yeah, and I actually did, a considerable amount of research for it. 5 Steps to Building a Better Fan Service Anime. I forgot about this video, but I remember it being pretty okay. It was, made out of my sincere love for fan service shows. I'd say it's probably high tier. I remember having fun with it. I think it has some of Devue's goofy censorship gimmicks, which I love. Let's see. An in-depth discussion of how we talk about anime. This one I like a lot, Anime Studios in particular. This was one of my big podcasts, and particularly it was the one with Canepa, because Canepa had a real bone to pick with the way that people attribute things to studios. I was like, he was like, studios are made of people, and I'm like, yeah, and those people work for those studios, so like they're indistinguishable from each other until, like, you can say that they had eras where these people were working there versus these people, but studios clearly have identities, Mm-hmm. And that was kind of the nature of the discussion. I'd say it's probably mid-tier. It's a pretty good discussion.
It's a pretty good.
K-On! The Ultimate Adaptation. I was very proud of this video.
Yeah, I like that video a whole lot.
I would say it's probably high tier, maybe even top. What do you think? High or top?
I'd probably say top tier.
Okay. I'm going to say that. Shield Hero Weekly number... Which one? Which one is that? The first one? Gotta go back up.
Oh, boy.
They had me feeling like Shield Hero. No, this is the first one. Which one is this? Okay, this is weeks 11 and 12. By this point, this is like the latest one about how the show has just gone to shit. I actually remember that one being pretty funny because we're ragging on the show pretty hard.
Excellent.
So
I haven't even
put
heard
that
this
one in mid-tier. You were there for it. You've heard all of them.
Was I there for this one? There were some that I wasn't there for.
I don't remember. Let's see. Trigun.
I think I've heard it, but did I hear Nate's part in it or just you?
I'm not sure.
I think I only heard your part in that one.
Well, that would be hilarious. This is the badass guitarist behind Trigun, Bebop, and Ippo OST, edited by Victor. One of the two videos I've done edited by Victor. Oh yeah, this video was pretty
sick. I remember this one.
I love it. It was a chance to talk about Tsuneo Imahori. I developed this whole new editing technique for this and the other Gurren Lagann video where I did not write a script. I created a soundscape and then talked enough to match it. I just wanted it to be something that you could listen to as a song almost, you know. Mm-hmm. I wanted these to be very rewatchable videos, and I did in fact rewatch them a lot. But this one was another one that's kind of an oddities video because it wasn't so much that I wanted to talk about Tsuneo Imahori as a composer as that I just wanted to talk about how he had done specifically all these memorable guitar solos in all these Yoko Kanno songs. And I just wanted it to be like, guys, do you understand that the guy who did the because I've been a huge fan of the Trigun and Hajime no Ippo soundtracks forever. Yes. Do you understand that the guy who did those soundtracks plays guitar in Rain? You know, he did that guitar solo. It's fucking awesome. I'd probably put it in high tier. It's definitely not as good as the top tier videos. And it's not as good as the other one I did. But, it's pretty good. This Genshiken one. Genshiken, the story and the details. This is one that was kind of an import from my old manga blog. It would have originally been part of the Architecture series, where I broke down just how manga works. I like it a lot. I think it's high tier.
Agreed. I was such a huge Mega fan at this point. I would it's hard not to look at them with rose-tinted glasses.
Yeah.
I also didn't personally know you, so I feel like the input I would have is just I fucking love this video. I remember when I watched this video.
It's funny because I totally forgot I made this video. Because, when I have videos that don't get a lot of views, I tend to just forget about them. Look at how shit the views on these two were.
I told my ex-boyfriend to read Genshiken because of this video. He was like, what manga should I read? And I'm just like, read Genshiken. It's fucking good.
Videos that aren't here is just a video to let you know where to watch my videos that aren't there. I guess should delete tier. It's just a redirect video.
Yeah.
It has no real reason to exist anymore, probably. This one, an in-depth discussion of otaku lingo. Pretty fun podcast.
I remember liking that one a whole lot.
I believe Pedro's on there.
Yeah.
And I think maybe Subsonic Sparkle? No. Is that Josh from... Yeah, Pause and Select.
Yeah, I remember Pause and Select.
The thing I remember the most about this is just how proud I am that I constructed this comic to fit on screen and be readable. Because this is originally a full page, so I had to convert it into vertical or horizontal size and make it just barely readable. But I love this comic from Yoshitoshi Abe, and it made an amazing thumbnail. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'd probably put it in mid to high tier.
Yeah, for a podcast, I'd say it's mid tier. It's pretty entertaining.
All right, this must be the girlish number.
Yes.
Yeah, anime of the year girlish number.
That's a fucking fantastic video.
I would put it in top tier.
Yes.
I was quite proud of it. Very passionate. Which Konosuba? Oh, this is the top 10 anime of 2016. I love my top 10s. I revisited this one recently, and I thought it was extremely well written. I'm very proud of the tightness of the script. Like, one of the things I think I'm the best at is summarizing a show in 3 paragraphs, like, without underselling it. So, yeah, I would put that in top tier, and, of course, the first part of it as well. Next up is the badass Gurren Lagann music guy, which is even better than the Suneo Imahori one. And I put it in my top tier, because, I mean, what other videos like it even exist? It's pretty one of a kind. Which Konosuba thing is this? 5 times I felt the power of anime in 2016. This one's okay. It was just basically a way for me to, I've been doing Finish or Fail for a long time. I was building up to doing the top 10, and I just, needed an idea for a video before the month was over kind of thing. And I was like, well, let me talk about 5 things that I thought were good from last year so that people know that I thought things were good. Probably mid-tier. What is this Angel Beats one? What's up with anime tone shifts? This one is kind of disappointing, because, okay, so I made this vlog called the Bathos Vlog, as people call it. And it was 30 minutes filmed on a 360 camera while I'm drunk and eating macaroni out of a bowl that is stacked on top of 2 TV trays. 2 TV trays stacked on top of each other with a giant thing of cheese and shells on it that I'm eating and 360ing around the room. The vlog is perfect, and it's my mega fan Wada's favorite video I've ever done. It apparently his favorite piece of media of all time.
Incredible.
And the reason is that it's a vlog about the concept of bathos that itself perfectly captures bathos. Well, the thing is, there was no way for me to duplicate that in a digestible scripted video for the main channel. So what I came away with was when I finally, because a lot of my videos are just me finally being able to script something I've been talking about for a long time. And there are some people who will watch the After Dark rant where I talk about this thing, and they completely get it, and they go, okay, that's great. But when I write it as a script, it's I'm whittling it down to just the part that I feel is the most digestible, but that doesn't necessarily make you get it better. It just means more people have access to this because it's not a screaming rant on a vlog, but it doesn't mean that they'll understand it as deeply. And I really think this video didn't communicate what is interesting about these tone shifts. It just kind of explains the existence of it. And of course it has 200,000 views, which is 10 times the view count of the Bathos vlog, because it's got Tenshi on it, and it's only 6 minutes, and it's not me screaming. But, I didn't think it was that great of a video as compared to the original.
I can't even remember the video.
This one?
No.
That's why it's going in low tier. What's this
certainly
do da da da
it.
one?
That's the one you can't stop thinking about. No, it can't be that one.
No.
It's recent though, isn't it?
It looks like.
Oh, isn't that a?
Oh, it's a Let's Argue. Okay. Yeah, all the Let's Argues are going to go in low tier, because they're all pretty much the same. Digibros discuss Yuri on Ice. This was an interesting one because the Digibros discuss videos that we had done on After Dark were super successful. So we thought, hey, we're both watching Yuri on Ice. We have strong opinions of it. Let's do a Digibros discuss and we'll put it on the main channel because they've been getting such amazing views on After Dark. Clearly, people care about them. We'll put them on the main channel. But we were just a bit too late. The hype cycle had already kind of come and gone. And I had Devu edit this one, insert clips and stuff. And he was doing this during RadCon 2, because we had just built the set. So this was right before we did RadCon 2. Me and Victor did this in the set that we had built. But I don't know. I guess it just was. It was just a little too late. I mean, it has 150,000 views now, but it did not do very well at first. I don't know when it got these views. I don't know if it's caught a second wind at some point, but I don't know. I mean, it's fine. It's just kind of a discussion of Yuri on Ice that has editing in it, but the editing didn't really enhance it so much as to really be worth it. I'd put it in mid-tier, I guess. Moe will mobilize you in Log Horizon. Yeah, this is a good video. I would probably
It
put
mobilized
it in...
the fuck out of me.
I think I'd put it in high tier.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not? Oh, I love this video. This is the... Fuck, I don't remember the title of it
Wait, you
exactly.
just scrolled past it. It's hiding...
Yeah, hiding anime sex appeal in plain sight. This is one that I really loved because it was so... This is another one that's like a very Digibro video because it's me being mad at other people for their pretentious tastes. This is kind of like my infamous 3x3s video, but much more subdued about it. Because my point is basically just that people act like these shows, like Flying Witch, are like these mature, shows that are like, oh, well, it's so nice to watch an anime where there's not like girls busting out of their shirts all the time. And it's like, yeah, but all of their shirts perfectly conform to their giant tits. And everyone in the show has giant tits, like, and perfect bodies. Like, it's still sexy, It's just not as... It's not as in your face about it, but yeah, I enjoyed that one a lot. I put it in top tier. The Akiyuki Shinbo videos all go in top tier for me. I absolutely loved making them, and I feel like I am like a foremost expert on Akiyuki Shinbo at this point. Like, I don't think there's anybody who can tell you more accurate information about Shinbo than I can, all right? Which is why I made them. I made them to prove that, but nobody who would have cared watched it. Is there meaning in subverting shonen tropes? This one was another one that's just like to end arguments on the internet. People kept calling everything a subversion, and I was like...
this needs to stop.
Yeah, this needs to stop because none of this is really subversive. Like, these tropes have existed forever. It does belabor the point a little bit, but I think I kind of had to. I think it's might be a top tier video. I think it's pretty good.
Remember, you are dealing with shonen fags. You
Yes. may have to be
beat
very
them
specific.
over the head.
Cool character designs: Cowboy Bebop, Kekkai Sensen, and Noragami. This one's pretty alright. It was a new take on cool character designs, where instead of doing one show, I was doing an artist's whole history because I didn't really have that much to say about any of them individually. I will say that this one still managed to come out a little under-researched. There was more I could have said, and I think I left a couple shows off that I should have talked about, just because, I don't know. I don't know how I fucked it up, but it's fine. Probably mid-tier. There's nothing really special about it. Kill La Kill's inventive animation. This is one of my most popular videos.
Fantastic thumbnail.
Yeah, I like this video. I think I'd probably put it in... I don't know if it's top tier. It's probably top tier. Yeah. It's another ending. A lot of the videos from this era were about ending internet arguments. And I think that might be, like, maybe that really was some kind of core element of my appeal that I've lost. Because I stopped arguing. Like, I used to be that I would just watch, I used to watch, all the anime YouTubers that were out. I used to be on, Anti-Twitter, really had my ear to the wall of the community, and everything I heard pissed me off. So I would constantly make videos where I tried to change the conversation, but it never seemed to work. So it always just felt like I was getting angry over nothing and wasting my time. And that's kind of why I just took a step back and stopped paying attention to it. And then I started dating you, and I was like, oh, thank God, I have something better to do than watch fucking AniTube.
Madness.
But I've been thinking ever since I made my big AniTuber video, and people were like, I can't believe you don't know any of the AniTubers. I thought you were the guy who watched every AniTuber. And I'm like, guys, that was years ago that I said that. It's not true anymore. Times have changed. There's a lot of them now. But then I was like, you know what? Maybe I need to subscribe to all of them just to piss myself off. Maybe I just need that to, light the fire.
You just have to follow my Anti-Twitter list.
Yeah, that would probably help.
I need to update it.
All right.
I will update it, guys.
Well, see, I have to get my inspiration from YouTube and not from Twitter. Because when I get mad on Twitter, I just get into a fight on Twitter. And that's not productive. When you get mad at a video and you can't, there's no recourse but to make a whole video. And then you have to go and make it a real thing.
I wish there was an easy way to, make YouTube subscription lists where you can just, get a news feed of their videos you can on Twitter. That'd be pretty cool.
Great scenes in anime, A Legend's Advice, and Shirobako. It's fine. Probably mid-tier. Not that memorable.
Nope, not really.
Which Haruhi? Why is there so much goddamn high school anime? I think this is a pretty good point I made about just why.
Mm-hmm.
It's not
as good as the last high school anime.
No, and it's not as researched as I might have liked it to be. I think I'd put it in high tier. Let's see. Cool character designs, Gurren Lagann. High tier. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with it. The Otaku Gonzo Journal. This would probably go, if not god tier, at least top tier. I'm very proud of it. It is the most gonzo video I've ever done.
Yes.
It's literally just take a trip with me through literally my daily life as an otaku, and like the explorations and like how those tie into my past as an otaku, how there's this intricate web of stuff that's you're always, diving through. The only reason I wouldn't put it in God tier is that it is unscripted, and that kind of shows. Like, there's parts that could have been phrased better, could have been tightened a bit, but I would definitely say my unscripted game has risen considerably over the years.
Yes.
Oh boy.
You are burpy.
More Shinbo, definitely top tier. This was the top 10 anime music videos, which this is the kind of video only I get to do because I watched them all. I straight up watched every anime music video so that I could come back and recommend the best ones. It's not like a deep analytical video or anything. It just is what it is. I would put it in the high tier.
Yep, it's good Digibro content.
More Shinbo, that is top tier. What plebe in the weeb is this? Is this just the advertisement for season 2? Yeah, this is just an ad. I mean, it's above delete this tier just because it was filmed on the wreckage of the end of the first season. And this was like weeks later. This stuff was just still all on the ground.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I made it look even worse, but like...
You still have that shirt.
I think I left it somewhere.
Yeah, I have not seen that play.
I left it either at my... I think my parents might have it. I left it somewhere at some point. I totally forgot about it, though. I own so many fucking shirts. I don't even miss them when they're gone. I left like 3 at fucking Sarah Louise's house in Portland. We'll just put it in shit tier. It's just a fucking ad. Planetarian video. Now, these ones are actually on my channel. The Planetarian one is the one with the legendary ending that led to that mess. I would say it's top tier.
Indeed. It's great.
The ReZero video, also hilarious. I would put that in... Would I put it in top or high tier?
High tier.
All right. And then the Your Name video, where my legs blast me off into space on a rocket, that's got to be top tier.
Yes, that's top tier.
All right.
Boy,
the Mob Psycho 100 video. This video has a fuckload of views, that's for sure. Almost 1 million views. This is... I can't possibly put it above mid-tier. I don't think it's very interesting. It was basically written by Victor because, like, it was like the last day of the month. I needed to get another video out. Because me and Devu had just moved in with me, and we'd spent all month on the Haikyuu versus Kuroko no Basket video. We only had like 2 days left in the month. Victor comes to me and he's like, you gotta talk about Mob Psycho, here's why. And he just details to me what is the theme of Mob Psycho. And I go, cool, I'll watch the show to confirm that I agree with you, and then I'll write a video. Me and Devu marathoned the show that night. I wrote the script in like half an hour. He edited the video the next morning, and it was out. I don't think there's anything special about it. It just is a Mob Psycho video that came out before the show. Time. Because the show was not being that hyped when it came out. Like, it didn't get that level of hype until a little bit later when more of the One Punch Man crowd caught on to it, when it eventually made it to Toonami. And incidentally, I think that's why, even though a lot of people were telling me to cover Mob Psycho 2, I think inevitably that video wasn't going to be as big of a deal because it wasn't first by any stretch. Like, my original was like early into people giving a shit. Mob Psycho 2, everybody gives a shit. Everybody's making videos about it. And I was way late, Haikyuu versus Kuroko no Basket. I love this video. I would put it in top tier. I think... the only problem I have with this one is that there's like too long of gaps between my speech at parts. But like conceptually, I love it. I did a lot of fucking work on it. It's almost god tier, in my opinion. This one I really like too. The turn your brain off video.
Oh, that has to be god tier, top tier.
I would put it in top tier because it's a little longer than it needed to be.
I guess
there's a part where I go like I just used too many examples. Like I didn't need to bring up like what was the name of that fucking show? The one with the big mech balls.
Oh.
High Order or something. I can't fucking remember. It's just like a little overburden. It didn't need to be 9 minutes. It could have made the same point in 7 minutes or 5 just as easily.
It's a fucking epic video, though.
It's still great. What is this? This looks like Shield Hero.
Yeah, it's a Shield Hero weekly.
Most of these are shit.
Yeah.
For the same reason as the Made in Abyss ones. Psycho-Pass vs. Psycho-Pass 2, What Happened? This I would have to put in the God tier? God tier? Is it fair to put it in God tier?
I think so.
I don't know. I don't know if it holds up as well. Ooh,
if you don't know, put it in top tier. If you haven't watched it recently, you know.
I've watched it somewhat recently, but yeah, I mean, Psycho-Pass vs. Psycho-Pass 2, What Happened was my second really big series. I guess the only reason I wouldn't put it in God tier is that, like all of my big series, there are parts that, in retrospect, I think were not that necessary, and I also think the very beginning of it sucks. I think that the biggest problem with this series is that I should not have front-loaded it with, like, what ended up being part 1, where I just kind of talk about the history of the production, and a lot of it's very speculative. That could have come at the end. There was no reason to put that there. I should have made it more emotionally driven and fixated more on just the comparison. But like once I get into the meat of like comparing the villains of the two shows, comparing like the messages of the two shows, that's when it gets really good. It was also the first video I ever wrote that like blew my own mind, where I was like as I was writing it, I was like, holy fuck, these fucking the ideas flowing through my mind. It was that one and the K-On! One. There were like two videos that were like when fucking Arnold Schwarzenegger is like, oh yes, like lifting weights is like calming day and night. Like that was where I realized that writing was like calming day and night. Sakamoto is seriously perfect. Mid-tier, just like the Mob Psycho one. It was just season's over, let's cover the popular shows, you know. But these ones are more like, because I did a lot of that, but usually it was more impassioned than like the Masamune-kun one. That one was like, I didn't really have an angle, I just knew it was popular. Usually with these I had some angle, you know.
Aesthetic is narrative.
Is this one aesthetic is narrative?
Yeah.
All right, this is god tier. This is one of my favorites.
Yes.
This was such a trip to write. It was an adventure. It was me literally trying to solve how to talk about aesthetics while writing it. Like, it was like a puzzle box. I had like 5 different ways I thought I should start the video, and then I just did all of them in one video. It's definitely a clusterfuck, but it is aesthetic in that way. Like, I think everything about its construction contributes to the point of it, which is what I like in a video. This looks like a Weebcast, right? Yeah, the summer 2016 Weebcast. How do you feel about the Weebcast? This one was 5.5 hours long.
I'm a big fan of the Weebcasts. I've watched them all.
Would you put it above mid-tier?
Yeah, I would.
You'd put it in high tier?
I'd put it, yeah. Because it's like, it is a production. It's like an orchestration.
Yeah.
You have to orchestrate it, you know?
Well, if you like it that much. 700 anime
You're
that
like,
I
if
recommend.
you like it that much, I'm like, I just think they're really fun.
This was the
fuck.
even longer, almost 7 hour, 250 anime recommendations. The video that I cannot believe got as many views as it did. I mean, I would never watch this. So
no.
But at the same time, the feat of it, I think is enough that it's impressive.
I watched like 2 hours of it.
I have to put it in high tier just because it's 7 hours of anime recommendations. Like, who else would ever do that? Cabaneri was always that dumb.
I changed my mind about the Weebcast. Like, only certain ones I think deserve to be high tier. The summer one,
Is
I
this
don't
one
think
good?
so. I
All
think
right.
the winter one is probably the only one I would put in high tier.
How much of that is just because you were watching all the shows at the time?
Probably all of it.
Kabaneri was always that dumb.
But there were so many good shows that season.
This was a meant to be a mirror image. Okay, so I don't know if I've talked about this or if anybody ever noticed it, but at the end of the winter season, I made my follow-up, my end of season videos were Konosuba is genuinely hilarious, Erased was never that good, and Myriad Colored Phantom World is pretty boring. So then at the end of the next season, I did Kabaneri was always that dumb, as a reversal on Erased was never that good. And Sakamoto is seriously perfect as a different version of Konosuba is genuinely hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, they're it's like poetry. It's like they rhyme. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Anyway.
I like it.
Kabaneri was always that dumb is okay. Probably mid-tier. Basically just an excuse to talk about Kabaneri.
Yeah, which is always good.
I did it, like, I had already done, like, a 20-minute vlog talking about it on After Dark that had already gotten pretty good amount of views. So I just kind of boiled my points down into a video. Although I think this one also has the only Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood analysis I've ever done. Because
And it's dark, but not.
I had been planning on doing a video on FMA Brotherhood for a long time, but like the point of it wasn't so complex that it was really worth doing as a full video, so I just crammed it into this one. So for that, it might be worth raising to high tier, but I don't know. I don't really remember what I talk about in it. How to recognize a terrible anime in just one episode.
Epic.
The biggest video I've ever done by far, most popular. Highest view
Deservedly
count,
so.
3.5 million. It's me shitting on Gate for 30 minutes and
Who could
Joker
ask
Game.
for more?
I think it's pretty good. I'd probably put it in top tier.
Man.
What the hell is this one? It's just me with my beard out. Send me anime magazines. Probably should delete. Probably not worth existing. Here's the first two parts of how to recognize a great anime in just one episode. The two parts that almost nobody watches before they get to this one. Look at the view count divergence, okay? These are a 3-part series. Part 1 has 905,000. Part 2 has 305,000. And Part 3 has 3.5 million. Clearly, nobody watched these in sequence at all. Even though they literally say Part 1... Well, these ones say Part 1 and Part 2. This one doesn't because it's
you were
obvious.
asking for it, dude.
I just didn't expect it to be so fucking successful. But, you know...
Big anime face.
The big anime face. You always gotta follow the big anime face. That's the principle. So, I don't know. These are all fine. I think I'd probably put these two just in high tier.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they're as entertaining as the other one. And they're all very long-winded, which was, like... The reason I make my videos so long is just to beat you over the head with the fucking point. Because it's always, like, something that, in my mind, you should get. It should just be obvious. So the fact that you don't get it means that I really have to fucking drill it into your brain, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Which means I have to talk about every single scene and why it's good so that you will feel like, okay, I get it. But people still don't fucking get it. So it's all for naught. Dead Leaves review. This is more recent. These are such a weird order. Like, sometimes they're in order and then some stuff just gets thrown in. This one was... I was thinking about doing a series called Anime Worth Watching.
I got nauseous watching you scroll up for that long.
Anime Worth Watching, I just wanted like a way to talk about cool anime that people don't know about, and I thought by calling it Anime Worth Watching, it might not matter what the subject matter is, because people will be like, oh, well, clearly it's an anime worth watching, so I want to know about it. Well, that didn't work. It only got 31,000 views, so clearly not as good of a conceit as I thought. It's another video that looks really good because the show looks so good. Script is fine. I'd probably put it in mid-tier.
Yeah, sounds about right.
A longer discussion about Mob Psycho. Low tier.
Yeah.
It's just us talking about Mob Psycho. All right, you're going to carry that weight. Ooh. This is one of those videos that people love. People really suck my dick over this video.
Me included.
Where would you rank it? I can't be objective about this one at all. I mean, not that I have been objective
I would say top tier. I'd say top tier.
All right, that's fair. Because the thing about it is, this was a drunken, unscripted ramble where I just got kind of tipsy, sat in my closet, and, like, basically it was an excuse for me not to watch Cowboy Bebop. Like, I had wanted to rewatch Cowboy Bebop and write something about it, and then I was like, well, fuck it, I have all these powerful memories, isn't that kind of the point? So then I just sat in my closet and ranted for like 25 minutes, cut that down, and then sent it to Devu, and he did all the visual and audio editing, which brought it to life, like made it all emotional. So people are always like, oh my god, I cry watching that video, and I'm just like, I find it hard to listen to because I'm talking so slow. And, like, it's so melodramatic. That video is responsible on some level for Super Eye Patch Wolf, because he said that video was, like, a huge influence on him, and he loved it so much. And, like, all his videos, he talks like that. He does that slow plotting. But the only reason I was talking like that is that I was drunk. So...
all the kiddies understand you better when he talks slow.
I mean, he knows that that's what... that is his intent, is to be more easy to follow for younger audiences. My mouse is fucking not happening right now.
Did it shit the bed? Did the battery die?
What is going on? I hope we didn't just crash the computer somehow.
Do you want to use my mouse?
Yes. I'm getting really worried. I'm getting really upset. We've got a corded mouse being brought in. I'm going to be so fucking pissed that this has crashed.
Why would it crash? You're not doing anything.
Here, plug that in.
With what?
Just unplug that top one.
What? How does one unplug?
Oh, thank God it's working.
Yeah,
Holy
I think
shit.
the battery just died in your mouse.
I didn't even know.
Wireless.
I didn't even know it was a battery powered mouse. I mean, the light was still on. So, I don't understand. Well, whatever. We're back in business. That was fucking terrifying.
Do you like my $15 mouse?
It seems kind of shit.
So you want it to go faster? There's buttons on the side that
No, it's already going fast enough. It's just like very glidey, like it keeps going.
Yeah.
All right. This is one of my videos that I am quite proud of, called "The 10 Best Things Happening in Anime This Decade," and that was just like, so I had become kind of known for negative videos. And, like, I didn't want to give people the perception that I thought anime was just gone to shit. And I still don't think that. I mean, I think last year sucked, but I don't think anime has, like, altogether gone to shit, you know? And, so I wanted to just talk about all the new miraculous things that were happening in anime this decade that were unique, that weren't around in previous decades. I thought I did a pretty good job, so I'd put it in the top tier. This mouse is fucking weird. It's mega fast.
You can make it slower.
I don't want to. I like it fast.
Yeah.
10 cool directing tricks in Evangelion. This is a weird one. This is apparently the one that took Devu like the most effort out of anything, because basically when I had been rewatching Eva for the sake of my Eva analysis videos, I just picked up on a bunch of neat things that the show does that are not common, that I had not really seen in other anime. So I made a quick list of them and wrote about each of them, and then just kind of didn't want to have to go through the entire show to find the examples, so I passed that off to Devu. He did a fantastic job on the editing. Ultimately, though, the problem with this video is that it's just a list. It's just a list of 10 cool directing tricks in the show, with no real explanation of why those are good, or, like, what makes them unique. Are these even really special? Like, it just seems like 10 gimmicks in a way, you know? Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I think I'd put it in mid-tier. I was not as proud of it after the fact as I had been at the time.
Yeah, I can see that.
Cool character designs, Shibonetta, whatever, mid-tier, don't care. This one's great. Fucking How to Distinguish Cute Girl anime.
That's a really fun video.
I think that would be in my... Ooh, that might even be close to God tier. This is one of my favorites I've done, just because it's, again, a very Digibro video.
Yeah.
To compare, three like shows and what makes one good and the others not so good. And like part of it is to break down that distinction between like a 3, a 5, and an 8. Like none of these shows are incredible, but here's the difference for all of you people who don't understand cute girls shows. I haven't rewatched it in a long time. I can't completely decide if I'd put it in top or god tier. This was one that was literally from my manga blog, just readapted. Details versus flow in manga panels. Just basically making a quick point. It's a solid point. I think I'd put it in high tier because the point is solid. And it's only 4 minutes. It's in and out. Nobody clicked on it because it was about Stray Little Devil, which no one's read. And the thumbnail, that was like the most appealing thumbnail I could find for this manga. And I wasn't going to like put something else in there because, it is what it is. But it only got it's up to 56K now, but it was a long time getting there. All right. How Miyazaki. This one also, oh my god, it's so exciting when I go back to my old videos. Because this was like a huge flop. Like, this video only had, 20,000 views, and I thought for sure, by being about Miyazaki, that it would be automatic views, and it wasn't, and I really had liked this script, and I was so pissed off, and now it's got 179K. Guys, don't ever consider your videos dead. They can always catch a second wind behind your back. That's exciting. Well, I like this video. I would put it in high tier. It's just about literally what the title says, how Miyazaki maps a setting. Here's your spring weeb cast that I know you love so much.
Yeah.
Or was it spring or winter?
Winter.
All right. Well, what do you think of the spring one?
I thought they were really fun. I'd say,
mid-tier.
Mid-tier. It's a podcast.
All right. Interesting anime protagonists, episode 1. Even though it was the only episode that ever existed, because it was the only one I actually had an idea for. I did have an idea for a second episode that was going to be about psychopaths and the idea of writing characters based around their specific ideals.
Mm-hmm.
But that's kind of just pretty common. This one was the most unique idea I had, and it's pretty good. I put it in high tier. It's fine.
I see Berserk, I click.
Yeah, that's why it has that many views. What is the appeal of anime? This one I was quite proud of because I think that I did a better job than I've ever seen done of explaining what is uniquely the appeal of anime, because people don't tend to look at it holistically as what can it do that other mediums can't, and also just what has it done that other mediums haven't. And that's why I thought Dragon Ball was the perfect representation, because it was just long form action adventure storytelling. That is the most popular genre of anime and manga because it's something that only exists in anime and manga. There is no other medium that has long form action adventure visual storytelling, So if you asked me what is the appeal of anime, I would first and foremost say Dragon Ball Z and Boku no Hero and One Piece. There's a reason they're the most popular, because they most distinctly can give you something you can only get here. This looks like a Let's Argue, so low tier. This is me, the Great Erase Debate, which is how you found out about me, I think.
That's really how I got into your channel, yeah.
What would you rank it?
It's pretty entertaining.
I remember it being insufferable and infuriating, just like every other podcast I ever did with Jeff. Because it was always I made a video that made my points, and I had nothing else to say. Jeff goes, oh, we should debate about it. And I'm like, why? It's just going to be me saying what I already said. You're not going to change my mind. And then we would just argue in circles for fucking an hour and a half.
Yeah, it was exactly that.
How would you rank it,
but I had fun with it. I would say it's probably low tier, honestly, but I still liked it.
Whoa, that's the wrong one. Low
what
tier.
even is that?
This is the master in the background of 40 years of Japanese animation, which I'm extremely proud of. It was a video about Shinichiro Kobayashi, who did the backgrounds for Revolutionary Girl Utena, Berserk, many, 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 many other shows. I went way out of my way to cram every show he had ever done into this video. And so, the biggest problem with this video is simply that it's not that easy to talk about background art in that much depth. So I was really stretching as hard as I could to get even 4.5 minutes to say, and then to just cram all the images in there. And I can only really do one image per show. So I can't, like, I'm not really giving you that huge of a sense of his catalog, but I just wanted to, like, make it clear just how fucking much this guy had worked on. Like, you have seen this guy's art, you know? And then also I had found, there's this channel called Toko Toko that, really I should be subscribed to and more people should know about, because they like interview all kinds of like industry figures and shit, and it's like it's not strictly anime, but like yeah, just people who work in like animation or art in general,
lit.
And they interview like really obscure guys,
yeah, dude,
and it doesn't seem like many people know about them. Yeah, I should. I don't know why I didn't.
Looks like they're still
before.
active too.
Yeah, because somebody just told me about him recently, and like as far as I know, it's like a French program, like it's like a TV program. I don't know how these get uploaded to YouTube. Like I hadn't subscribed because I just figured this was not an official channel. It's just a guy uploading Toko Toko clips or something. I don't know. I'm unclear about it, but yeah, the fact that I found that about him, and I found it on the new page of r/anime. It didn't even make it to the hot page. I just happened to be on the new page, and I was like, Shinichiro, Shichiro Kobayashi. I keep saying Shinichiro, but I think it's just Shichiro Kobayashi. It's been fucking tongue twisting me for over a decade, but yeah, like I just happen to be a fan of this guy, so finding that inspired it.
That's really cool.
I would put it in top tier. I'm quite proud of it, even if nobody ever watched it. Though it's doubled its view count since the time it came out, so that's good. Myriad Colored Phantom World is pretty boring. I spent a lot of time on this script. I know that. I don't really remember the specifics of it. I remember it being pretty fun. Devu edited it.
It's a good time.
Probably high tier.
The best thumbnail video. You have.
Oh, this is the Neon Genesis Evangelion review, where it's actually a review of Gundam Wing, except that everything I say in the video is true of both Eva and Gundam Wing. So there's no facts in here that are not applicable to both shows. But I keep saying Eva and showing Gundam Wing. I'm proud of this retardedness, so I'm putting it in high tier.
One of the best April Fool's videos.
All right,
ever.
Now it's time for one of my most controversial videos of all time. If not, I think this is my most disliked video. Erased was never that good. The only video I have with more than half dislikes. So, what do you think of this video, first of all? Because I assume you watched it.
I did.
What did you think? Did you like it? Did you think it was a well-argued point?
I do. I think you made your point. I mean, it's not like that was the first time I've heard your point.
Right.
I don't know if it needed to exist because of that.
I think the biggest mistake I made with this video was, and this is something I did twice. It happened both before with a different video about Zankyo no Terror, which I did actually delete because it was actually bad. This one I still stand by the points I made. But the problem was that I had hated this show right from the start. I didn't like anything about it. I complained about it on the Weebcast. I was just like, fuck this show. As the season went on, it went from a show that everybody seemed to be completely in love with to suddenly in the last few episodes, everybody seemed to be jumping ship on it. And like, people...
It's cuck shit.
I was hearing all these people being mad about the show, so I just wanted to spring in and have a ha, I was right moment.
Yeah.
So I wrote this script before the last episode even aired. I wrote it that night. I marathoned the show, stayed up, watched the final episode, and then the second the last episode was over, as soon as I finished watching it, I immediately published this video. So nobody even could have seen the final episode by the time this came out, unless they were there on the first minute it came out. So the problem is that not everybody, or even most people, had completely turned on the show just because of the ending, and they certainly didn't think that it had changed their opinion of the show up to that point. Mm-hmm. So my thing was like, hey, haha, you guys all think the show sucks now. Well, I thought it sucked from the beginning. Here were all the signs. And the response was, but I don't think the show sucks now. And I went, well, oops. I probably should have written this a little differently. So I would put it where a controversial video belongs, in mid-tier.
Yep.
This is just videos about anime I actually like, where I just list because of the fact that, so I wrote this Phantom World video before any of this. Like, I wrote it immediately after the Asterisk War Sucks. And I had done this Konosuba video just because I saw how popular the show was. And this was before it was even over. But then I had this 1, 2, 3 punch. If I had done the Anime's Getting Lazy with its meta video, I knew I was about to shit on Erased, and I knew I was about to shit on Myriad Colors Phantom World. And a lot of people were saying, like, oh, you're just negative all the time. Like, all you do is shit on anime because we're coming off the heels of Asterisk War Sucks. So I was like, I want to fix this perception of me. Mm-hmm. Let me make a video saying, like, hey, look, most of my videos are about shows I like. It just so happens that we're in a very negative ghetto right now. But don't worry, we'll get back to shows I like eventually. Does this video still need to exist? No. Anime is Getting Lazy with its meta, a god tier.
Yes.
Best editing I've ever done.
Oh yeah, you did edit this one.
It's a super hilarious, very tongue-in-cheek, very meta script with lots of weird jokes that some people didn't even understand. I really went above and beyond on the editing. This video kind of, I think this is one of the most, like, thought germ videos I've made. Like, a lot of people came away from this perceiving things this way. Mm-hmm. You know, like, a lot of people developed the opinion that anime had gotten lazy with its meta as a result of this video. So I think it's one of the most impactful videos that I've done. Konosuba is genuinely hilarious. I would put in mid-tier. All the same reasons as the Mob Psycho video. It was just a slapdash. This show's popular and I like it.
Massively
Here's 3 things
video.
I can say about
Here's
it. Almost a million views. Whatever. So, Asterisk War Sucks. Part 12A and B are both god tier.
Yes.
I couldn't have... This is like a Shakespearean tragedy. Like, I don't even feel like I could take full credit for it.
Oh
Just the
God.
fact that these 2 shows existed back-to-back was half... Well, it was 75% of the goal. All I had to do was point out what was going on right in front of me, you know? But yeah, I love those 2 parts in particular. Let's Argue is low tier. These are interesting ones. So, these 2 videos, Akira's animators over the past decade and anime directors as animators. I'm quite proud of these 2. They're both just redirect videos on my channel because they couldn't be uploaded to YouTube. But basically, they're just Sakuga compilations with a point. Because most of the time, Sakuga compilations are either like all the Sakuga from this month or all the Sakuga from this animator. I wanted to do like a more just like interesting construction of it, and also to use music I actually like. So the anime directors as animators one, which is all set to Blank Banshee, was just like a bunch of directors who I had found that they had, you know, a bunch of clips on Sakugaboru, and it's just like, here's what this director was like as an animator. I think that's neat. So that one I would put in high tier. And Akira's animators over the past decade, this was just, I would show the clips that they had done on Akira and then everything they had done in the last 10 years. And the main inspiration for this was that I had found out that a major animator on K-On! Had also worked on Akira. So it was just like kind of showing you like, hey, you know, you might be thinking like, oh, the 80s were like the golden age and like Akira is like the best animated, because, you know, people who worship 80s anime, Akira is of course a go-to. And it's just like, look, a lot of those people are still in the industry and they're doing amazing work on different types of shows, you know? Maybe they're working on Clannad now. So I put that in high tier as well. Asterisk War Sucks Part 10. One of my favorites, How to Fuck Up a Tournament arc.
Oh yeah, that one was excellent.
This one, it's a little longer than it needed to be. The main interesting part is just where I'm actually talking about tournaments, not so much when I go through like the episodes and break them down, but I would put it in top tier.
Good choice.
This one's one of my favorites.
Yes, with Kiri.
The one about cute girl with sword. Cute girl with sword doesn't cut it. The one where I do a feminist lens on the whole arc and then break down how I don't actually care. It's one of my favorites. I think I don't know if it's God tier. I can't really put it on the same level as 12A and B, so I've got to put it in top tier. Dark Souls versus Bloodborne, the player character. I'm just so fucking happy I made a video game video that people actually liked. This is the only gaming video I've ever made that has gotten any views, and it's got a lot of views. And it was about Souls, and like, basically, I came into Souls, even though I'd been watching my friends play it since Demon Souls came out. I came into it so late as a player that I was like, what stone is left unturned? And this was just the one thing I hadn't seen anybody say, and people seem to resonate with the idea. So I would put it in probably high tier. I don't know if it's top tier, but it's it's a good point. Here's, of course, the most famous, or the most beloved, at least, part of the Asterisk War Sucks. Part 9, the McDonald's of anime part, as we call it.
Oh my god.
What is exactly how A1 Pictures gets away with it? There is some misinformation in this video. It wasn't an animator who worked himself to death, because A1 Pictures doesn't really have animators. They're just a group of producers who hires contractors, basically. But this video has a lot of emotional impact. It has hilarious bits, like me reading the reviews of the show. And it basically boils down why these shows are popular. Amazing 9-year-old.
Oh, my bad.
Close
but
enough.
Yeah.
So this one, do I put it in top or God tier? What do you think? Part 9.
God tier.
Okay, I think that's fair. I think it's like the most emotional moment of my filmography, if you will. Top 10 analysis videos of 2016. Solid top 10 list. Obviously out of date now. Mid-tier. Top 10 Game Grumps playthroughs, also mid-tier. These were both made for my top 10s channel that I was going to make, and would have been a great idea, but I just didn't want to take the time away. Because when I make a top 10 list, I go really all out. I was like, this is going to take too much time away from my main channel. I can't possibly continue doing it. This is a Weebcast,
it's the
right?
Winter Weebcast.
All right, that's your favorite one, right? So should we put it in high tier, or do you still want it down in mid-tier with the others?
Mid-tier, because I'm thinking about it as a podcast.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's not even the best podcast. I just had a lot of fun with it. So if you're following seasonal anime, it's like the best source you can kind of get.
Yeah. The rest of the Asterisk War Sucks were all on the DigiDoes anime channel, because my main channel couldn't host videos over 15 minutes at the time, and they all ended up coming out too long. So I just posted them over there with redirect videos, and they did so well on that channel that I never felt the need to re-import them back. But these are all redirects, but we're just going to pretend that they are the actual videos. Part 8 is one of the really funny ones. I would put it in top tier. My top 15 anime of 2018, definitely top tier for all the same reasons as the 2016 list. I love my own writing. Part 7 is the one where I break down building the worst protagonist of all time. This one's pretty good. It's pretty funny. Yeah. I don't know if it's top or high.
High tier?
I think probably high tier. Let's see. This one is How to Screw Up a Sci-Fi Setting. Also high tier. This is just my face. Oh yeah, this was stuff I made that you may have missed. I don't even remember making that. That's delete. This is a stuff I loved in 2015 video. So this was in lieu of a top of the year list, because in 2015 I had not consumed enough anime in order to do a top 15 anime list. So I just broadened it to anything that I had done that I enjoyed that year, just kind of short reviews. It was not as tight as my, or as meaningful as the other one, so I just put it in mid-tier. It's fine. Entertaining, I guess. Which one is this? Part 5. Part 5 is fine. I would put it in high tier.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Part 4 is What Are Cliche Characters and Why Do They Suck? Pretty good. I don't know if it's high or top.
I'd still say high tier for that one.
All right. Let's see. Part 3, high tier. It's probably my least favorite part, but it's still fucking
they're
hilarious.
all great.
Ways to clone Super Metroid. Another gaming video that nobody fucking watched, but I think is fairly interesting.
Is that person supposed to be you?
No, that is the main character of Axiom Verge.
Oh, okay.
Because Axiom Verge and Zeo Drifter were both games that were trying to copy Super Metroid, but they took very different approaches to it, and that was what I was fixating on, where, like, one was more about, like, the speedrunning element, and one was more about the immersion element.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, good video. Probably high tier. Nobody fucking watched it, but whatever. Astro Wars Sucks. Parts 1 and 2 are both fucking hilarious, so I think those both have to be top tier. Those are where I was just really, like, snide and
yeah, they're great. They're great.
Just really fucking bringing
it's a great start to
the
it.
comedic element. This is
the
just
one where Bird Girl is introduced.
This is the one where I just thought it was shit, right? Where I was like, fuck these waifu trash. Yeah, that's shit tier. This is just 5 anime you can watch right now, right? Yeah.
Yep.
5 must-see anime you can watch right now. I made a bunch of these. They're all probably low tier. They're just recommendation videos. Just trying to get people to watch more anime. This is some god tier shit. My 2-part Hideaki Anno video. Honestly, though, if I went back and did this again, I would go into even more depth. Because this was still in an era where making videos that are like 30 minutes is like long. You know, because this video all told is, 28 minutes or so? You know, like, I felt like I was making a big, long, huge video on Anno. When I watch it back, I'm like, I wish I had gone into, like, I wish this was twice as long, you know?
Right.
And, like, a year later, I would have been willing to make it twice as long. But, nonetheless, I did a fuckload of research. It's my favorite director. I felt like I captured something about him that hadn't really been said, and that was why it was so important to me. 6 Things I Want from Anime Romance.
I
also,
love that video.
I think it might be god tier as well.
I'd say so.
This was the product of me spending an entire month watching nothing but romance anime, and coming away from it realizing what I thought were the things I wanted from it. So, you know, I really like that one as a genre exploration. This
Very
one is just a picture of me.
thumbnail.
Why I dropped your favorite summer anime. This is just a redirect to an After Dark video. And the After Dark video is not really that special. I mean, I've restated the points in this 1,000 times. Go for it. So we're putting that in shit tier because I'd never go back to it. Digi Summer 2015 Anime Roundup. This is literally just like... During the summer of 2015 was when I was like, I don't know how to continue growing my channel. Like, even though these Ava videos did really well, most of what I had done in the early part of 2015 just did not click in the way my earlier stuff did. And I didn't realize yet the importance of thumbnails and titles. Like this one, Visual Pacing in Kekkai Sensen and Kyokai no Rinne 2. Kekkai Sensen was a huge show. This video, by all rights, should have 100,000 views, but look at this terrible fucking thumbnail. This title sucks. Like, if I bet I could change the thumbnail and title of this, and it would grow automatically, even now. But it's so bad of a presentation that nobody's ever going to click on this. So I didn't really understand that at the time. And I was just kind of floundering, trying to figure out what to do. So I was trying to cover that current season. So, like, with Hibike Euphonium and Kekkai Sensen, and then this soundtracks video, it was all like, let's try to talk about stuff that's on TV right now. And it didn't really work out. And then at the end of the season, I tried to just do a roundup, because a lot of people do those. Again, nothing special about it. Low tier for sure. I probably would not even bother going back and watching it. Might even be shit tier, but who knows? I can't remember. Asuka changes everything in Evangelion Eps 8 and 9. Probably my favorite of the Ava videos that I made. Definitely top tier. I love that one.
Me too.
This one is Everyone Kicks Ass in Ava Eps 6 and 7. That one's not as good, but, you know, still fun. Still a fun time. How Yu Yu Hakusho holds up. Pretty solid video. Just talking about what's good about Yu Yu Hakusho. Not anything like all that groundbreaking, but it's a good Yu Yu Hakusho video. 5 more must-see anime you can watch right now. Definitely going down in the low tier.
Are those the video that Crunchyroll gave you footage for?
Only one of them, but I think it was the last one. I think it was
Okay.
this one. Might have even been 2, but I can't remember. But yeah, they did give... one of them was made in conjunction with Crunchyroll. What is this one with the fucking sexy coming girl on it? That was recent, right?
Yeah, that's a more recent video.
It was... Was it the first Let's Argue?
No.
Yeah, it was.
Was
Dub,
it?
or
Oh,
the second
boy.
one. Dubs can be better than subs. This is the first or
Okay.
second one, so that's going in low tier.
I guess you're right.
My Nanoha retrospective. I put so much fucking love and care into this. I love this series. I definitely would put it in top tier. You will not find a more complete retrospective on fucking Nanoha. You know, I went the distance, man. I watched all this fucking shit just for this, and it was worth it. Even with the low view counts, it was worth it for me as a person. I feel enriched to have consumed all of Nanoha. I knew nobody else on YouTube was ever going to do it, and it was up to me. I did it with a sense of self-righteousness, you know? I also really like this one, What Anime in Anime Say About Anime History. It was a fun project. It was, I don't know, the point didn't really come out all that interesting because it wasn't that analytical. It was more just an excuse to, like, look back on these things. But I don't know. I put it in high tier. It's a fun time, and it also ends with the Kujibiki Unbalance opening, which makes me feelsy every time. Which Doo-Da-Da is this? Everyone's Badass? Yeah, Everyone's Badass and Doo-Da-Da-Da. There's 2 Everyone Kicks Ass videos directly on top of each other here. This one's just fine. It was just a case of me, like... All of my Doo-Da-Da-Da videos have always been, like, me just thinking back on the show. It's never been, like, I rewatched it and was like, oh, man, I gotta say this. It's always just me sitting around thinking about Doo-Da-Da-Da and going, like, that might be an interesting video. Probably mid-tier.
I don't remember that one. I might have not even seen it.
The Queen of Anime Melodrama. This was me just attempting to do... Like, basically, I was thinking about how nobody talks about anime writers. Like, people talk about directors... more people need to talk about writers. Mari Okada is a very distinctive writer. This was slightly before she started becoming somebody who people talked about. So, like, in retrospect, this video is not that interesting because Mari Okada is now way better known and has been talked about in more depth. But this is just me trying to give, like, a basic overview of her career and, again, showing, like, every show she ever worked on in it. So I'd say it's probably mid-tier. Ah, my fucking nose. Thoughts on the Psycho-Pass movie, low tier. Literally just made this because I felt like I needed to continue covering Psycho-Pass. Like, I had covered every part of it so far. Might as well keep going. But it's just a standard review, pretty much. Acting through animation in Evangelion at 5. I remember being pretty good. Not incredible. High tier. Why not? Unless that's the one where I fucking talk weirdly slow.
One of the cool things about works in the audio video...
Yeah, this is the one where I was talking really slow to try to make it longer. So that one's going in mid-tier.
Oh boy, it sounds like it's literally slowed down.
Yeah, it's obnoxiously slow.
Oh my god.
Why We Love Kuroki Tomoko. This was another, like, month is ending, gotta get something out. I wouldn't have even watched this show. It was just like, I think one of my brothers was watching it, and I just kind of sat in on it. And, but I had already read, like, I had enjoyed the first volume of the manga, and I just thought the show wasn't that strong by comparison. But it ended up being better than I expected. The script is fine. I'd put it at mid-tier. I feel exactly the same way about it as I do about the Konosuba and Mob Psycho ones. It was just, like, something slapdash that got really popular because it's about a popular show. Misato Shinji and the Difficulties of Empathy. I like this one. It's something that's lingered on my mind for years, so I'd put that one in high tier. Fat Chocobo Girl. Shit tier. This is my Ava episode 2, the genius structure of Ava episode 2. This one I can't even take that much credit for because it was largely inspired by Ghostlightning, who had talked about this before. I still think it's probably... I don't know. I don't know if it's mid or high tier. It's one of the less memorable Ava videos.
Have you seen the picture with, like, Fibonacci spiral over her ass?
Over Misato's ass?
Yeah, in that exact, in that, like, the pose she's in. It's like the Fibonacci spiral is her ass.
That's
it's really funny.
But 10 Killer Cuts in Ava episode 1, I was a lot more proud of. I like this one.
Time.
I would put it in high tier. Let's see. Oh, we're down here, right? Yeah, the crushing nihilistic agony of Technolize. This one's just okay. It's just a Technolize video. I don't think it's that deep. It's just kind of like, hey, here's what's cool about this show. Probably mid-tier. It's not super memorable. This is anime characters look and sound alike. I am quite proud of this one. This is very much a Digibro only could have made this video, where it was also an import of an old blog post I'd made, just readapted for video. But I'm just talking about how it's really funny that voice actors will get typecast as characters who literally look the same in like very distinct and unusual ways. Like, people will look at this and go, they just have the Hime cut. And I'm like, no, they don't. The Hime cut is all over the place. These characters have snake hair. They have specifically weird, like, dreadlock chunk hair, and they're all voiced by the same actress. And, like, or in the case of Takehito Koyasu, like, it was even more specific. So, yeah, I like this video a lot. I'd put it in, do I put it, probably high tier. I don't know if it deserves to be top tier, but I do enjoy it. The best year in anime history. This one's just a vlog, but it's based on all this research I had done on a blog post years prior. I just, for the sheer effort of it, I like it. I put it in high tier. And some people have told me that they were introduced to me through this video because it was a response to a Giguk video, and so people found it through him.
That's funny.
Overthinking interviews with Psycho-Pass and Ghost in the Shell directors. This one has almost no views because it's a picture of two guys' faces, and it is an unscripted vlog.
Oh my god, he looks so cute.
It was me just going through these interviews by the writers of Ghost in the Shell and Psycho-Pass, particularly Kenji Kamiyama and Toa Ubukata, both of whom I'm fascinated with, especially Toa Ubukata. I think I'd put this in high tier, but this is the kind of video that only I even care about. Like, no, it was not made for anyone. It was just for me. The importance of presentation and strong anime narratives, finally released from its purgatory of being blocked. I love this video. This one was made just to spite that anime snob who insists that plot is all that matters and visuals don't, and I wanted to prove how much visuals mattered to the most plot-centric show of all time. I think I did a great job with that. I would put it in top tier.
Excellent.
The only problem with that video is it has too long of breaks between paragraphs. Best reaction to eating food in anime. I also like this one a lot. It's another very general observation of a lot of things. It's really fun. I would put it in top tier as well. I love that video. This one is a close listen to Spring 2015 anime soundtracks. This was a collaboration with a guy called Ocelot, who has since badmouthed me hardcore on Twitter. It's not that great. It's low tier. It was just an attempt to cash in on the current season in some way.
That?
He's the editor for the Cartoon Cypher these days. So he's yeah.
Who dat?
Stop blaming budget for animation quality. This was just a rant that I think this was another one that had a pretty big cultural impact, because there's a lot of people who started going around telling people to stop doing this. But it was just the way. It's not that budget has nothing to do with animation quality. It's that the way people talk about it was retarded. Mm-hmm. Where people would be like, oh, they must have run out of budget on this episode. And it's like, that's not how it works. So, yeah, this one, not an amazing video, but it is kind of important. I'd put it at mid-tier. Battle Angel Alita review, mid-tier. Pretty standard movie review. Nothing particularly special about it. I don't know. Maybe it's even low tier. What do you think?
I liked it better than the Pokemon review. I think it had more, more to it. There was more meat.
I'm looking over the other stuff. I can't put it here. It's got to go in low tier. There's too much stuff that's better than it in this.
I still like it better than the Pokemon one, but I don't know if it necessarily means it'll be mid tier.
Well, I was just talking about this video and how this video has never gotten views because the thumbnail is so awful. And, I think if I changed the thumbnail, it could spike in views immediately because it's about Kekai Sensen. But it's not an amazing video. It's just basically talking about how the visual pacing in these two shows that were airing at the time made the shows worse. It's fine. I put it in mid-tier. Definitely better than the Alita review, so, you know, I feel like I'm more comfortable with that. Hibike Euphonium, Why the Hype? This, ironically, I just broke down the first 2 episodes, and when the show was over, I felt as though I had already analyzed the entire show. Because I pretty much got what the point was going to be, and I was right. I was totally on the money, and I felt no need to do it again. It's probably a mid-tier video. I don't even really remember it. I have not revisited the videos of this era as much, you know?
Yeah.
So, okay. Psycho-Pass vs. Psycho-Pass 2, except it's as 5 different videos. I'll rank them on the basis of how good I think those parts are. Part 5 is... It starts off really funny, and then it's kind of just a summary of my points. I guess high tier. Spring 2015 anime worth checking out. Nobody cares. Shit. Part 4 was hilarious. That's definitely high tier, at least. The A Tale of Memories video. This one is interesting. It was very much like a gonzo journalism kind of piece. It was me just like reflecting on how this show matched my own experiences. I don't know. What did you think of this one? Because I know you've seen it. Where would you rank this?
I like it.
I think I'd probably... I feel like it's mid-tier.
Yeah.
I don't feel like it's anything all that special.
Yeah.
Because I barely remember it. My Attack on Titan anime review, I have to put in high tier. It's a big meme.
God.
It was just me making fun of everything I hated about other anime reviews. And I think it's pretty funny.
It's very fun.
Gianna Sisters Twisted Dreams. This is one of the least viewed videos on my channel. It was a review of a game that I liked a lot, and I talk about its history and how it came to be. I would probably put it in mid to high tier. It's hard to say because I haven't rewatched it in a long time. We'll stick it in mid tier.
Didn't we rewatch it together when you were launching IM Games?
Did we?
Yeah, I think we watched.
I didn't think we actually watched it all the way. I thought I just like showed you a little bit of it or something.
Maybe. I know I saw like at least part of it.
Well, the fact that we don't remember it means that it probably belongs in mid tier. Parts 2 and 3 are the best parts of Psycho-Pass vs. Psycho-Pass 2, because that's where I'm really breaking down, like parts 4 and 5 are just me shitting on Psycho-Pass 2 for being bad, and those parts are really funny, but parts 2 and 3 are where I really have, like, the meat of the analysis that I'm proud of, so I would put those ones in the top tier, even though
this fucking tier list is already, like, the biggest tier list that's ever existed.
It's fucking massive. This is another just fucking Shield Hero midsection episode.
You really like the bird girl. You put her as the thumbnail most of the time.
Well, because I had done Raphtalia for the earlier episodes, so I kind of figured I'd do her, and I thought she'd be more popular.
Right?
Cool Girl Games Chantilly's. Again, one of the least viewed videos on my channel. About a game that I thought was cool, and I broke down in extensive detail, but nobody cares. I haven't watched it in a long time, so I'm just going to put it in the mid-tier, even though I do love that game. I'm sure if I watch it again, I might even think it's high-tier, but like it's hard for me to say. I haven't watched it in forever. Psycho-Pass Part 1 is definitely the worst one. I would just put it in mid-tier. My Spirited Away analysis is pretty good. I would put it in high-tier. It's not as complete as I'd like it to be. A lot of it was me just kind of reacting to other analysis that I'd seen online and kind of disproving that and then making my own point. It could be restructured. It could be redone so that it was actually postable to YouTube. This was made when my channel was completely down and I was just like, fuck YouTube. Like, I'm just going to make my videos for Dailymotion or like for Google Drive. I don't know. I had to rewatch that one to be fully sure where I'd put it, but it's probably high tier. Okay, this is a very important video. How to define the best looking anime. Structurally, this video has some problems, but the overall point of it is great. It's just me breaking down how, like, just having the category of animation or just visuals is so unhelpful because there's so many different components to that.
Definitely.
And then giving examples of how something can be good or bad in those different regards. Not all of my examples are that good. So I'm only going to put this in high tier because I basically later returned to this point and made it better in other videos. This was my visuals era. Visual cohesion and flow in anime, it's alright, probably mid-tier. The point I'm making is really good, but the video is just, I don't know, maybe it's high tier.
It's a tough choice.
I feel like it's not that entertaining of a video, but it is a good point being made. So, looking at the other stuff in high tier, I think I put it in mid.
Yeah.
Alright, what's next? We already did this one, but we'll just put it... Well, this is the version with the shittier editing, so this one will go in high tier just because the editing is shitty by comparison. Digi, why you drop so much anime? Just a vlog to explain why I drop so much anime, which has been on my Mal page ever since. It's whatever. I've made this point 1,000 more times and better. Like, 94,000. Probably mostly from my Mal page.
Right.
Definitely shit tier. No reason that needed to exist anymore. No Kome and Nihilism. This is kind of a meme video. It was me making, like, basically trying to stretch the, like, this is, like, the biggest stretch I've ever done. It's me, like, trying to make this extremely huge point about the nature of choice and consequence and how this show, by the fact that the choices never really matter, it therefore has a nihilistic viewpoint. It's basically a goof and a gaff and a laugh. I think it's pretty fun. I'd probably put it in mid-tier. That definitely doesn't deserve to be any higher than that. Death Note, Attack on Titan, and How to Direct the Most Popular Anime.
Thumbnail, though.
Yeah, I love that thumbnail. And this one was the one that was posted to Kotaku. It's pretty good. I think
Fucking
probably
Kotaku.
Probably high tier. Maybe not. Maybe it's only mid tier. I don't feel like I say anything that.
Yeah, I would say it's only
the main
mid-tier.
point of this video was just to point out that Attack on Titan and Death Note were directed by the same guy and that they were the most popular shows ever. Your Anime Sucks Sword Art Online Part 2 Sword Art Online 2 finale. So the fourth part. All of these are great. They're all probably going in top tier.
Yeah.
I don't think any of them are god tier. I think my writing has gotten too much better over time. But, you know. What is this Little Witch Academia thumbnail doing in the middle of all these old fucking
Right.
posts?
Such a pain in the dick.
Because I'm not sure which one it is. I know it's a more recent. Oh, it's just a Let's Argue. Why are the Let's Argue so fucking spread throughout this? Oh, this one I love. Light novel trends can't possibly be this interesting.
I like
Definitely
that one.
top tier. Another one that was like something that had been on my mind forever because I've been following light novels longer than anybody else in the goddamn West. Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann vs. Kill la Kill, also I think top tier. Just a full thematic breakdown of both shows. The only problem with this video is that at the time I was limited to 15-minute videos. And so I had to cram it all into 15 minutes. And like I had enough to go on to easily go for a lot longer than 15 minutes. Like you see with both of these that they're both like pushing right up to the limit. Because like I had to cut little sections out and like, you know, like edit it down. I had to talk as fast as possible just to get these fucking short enough to work. So like this video could have been even better. It could probably have been god tier, but I am really proud of it as a full thematic breakdown of both shows. I think I did my research well. I read like every interview ever for both shows, you know, like I really fucking scoured the data. Hunter x Hunter review. This is pretty much just a standard analytical review. I would put it at mid-tier. Definitely not as good as the stuff I wrote about the show later.
Yeah.
All right, now we're getting into the top 20 anime of 2014. Back when I had these stupid TVs, all these thumbnails are god-awful, which is why none of these videos performed. I just literally didn't realize how important thumbnails were at the time. So let's sort them. The Hunter x Hunter one is shit tier because I knew I was about to do a longer video on it anyways. because literally the longer video came out the next day. So this was basically just, hey, this one won. Here's what I can tell you without. Well, I think this one was just spoilers. Like I just said, hey, here, because only the last section had actually aired in 2014. So,
I see.
I only talked about things that that pertain to that section. Before that, I think this is Log Horizon was my number 2, right? Is that the Log Horizon thumbnail? Yes. I mean, most of these are pretty much shit tier, I think. They're not great. They're not worth returning to. Like, I'm trying to remember anything about these that was interesting. Barakamon might be okay. Might be worth low tier. Ooh, I really don't remember any of these videos. Which Shield Bro was this? Gotta go all the fucking way back up. Shield Bro, where are you? Ow, my feels? Was this episode? This is week 4. I guess we were still enjoying the show, right? Episode 4 was the end of the first arc, I think. I mean, we managed to get 40 minutes out of it. It probably deserves to be in at least low tier, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Mob Psycho video that I just did, mid tier. Just a quick point about Mob Psycho. Wasn't really a high effort video or anything. All the SAOs are going in top. Definitely going in top. This one's about baby steps. I think this one might have had a little bit. Let me look at the time codes on these because I know that the longer ones had like a little bit more to say. Yeah, baby steps, and I remember the Inari Konkon one might have been okay. Although I remember I had like mostly forgotten the show by the time I even talked about it. Yeah.
No Game, No Life.
The I Can't Understand What My Husband's Saying one is a little better. The No Game, No Life one kind of sucks. I mean, I have a way better video about No Game, No Life. So I'm just going to put Baby Steps and I Can't Understand What My Husband Is Saying in low tier, and the rest of these are going into shit tier. This one actually, this Secret Santa stuff, because so there's this anime blogger Secret Santa that goes on every year where everybody submits their stuff. And the idea is that you get recommended 3 shows and you have to watch one of them and write a review of it. I always try to watch all 3. But I ended up dropping both Hyoka and Nagi no Asukara, but I've completed Jinro. So this video is just set to game footage of me and Josh Cruz playing Halo. But the last section of it is actually like a fully scripted video about Jinro that I had intended to do, but I wanted to rewatch the movie and like get a little bit more depth with it. That part of this video is pretty good. The rest of it is probably completely passable. Pass overable. So I think I'd put it in mid tier. I think the Jinro analysis is worth existing. Shit.
Shield Bro.
This one was like episode 2 or 3 probably. It's probably fine. Shit. I think the JoJo one is pretty okay. It basically is what my thoughts on JoJo meme. Have remained since.
JoJo meme.
No Game, No Life one's shit. This was the precursor, just the introduction and honorable mentions. Shit. All right. K-On! A Loving Thesis. I think this accounts for both. Yeah, because they both had to be uploaded elsewhere. This would go in the top tier.
Okay.
I mean, this is another one of my most influential videos because it got a lot of fucking people to watch K-On! And definitely changed the way people talk about K-On! On YouTube. Like, before this video, there was nobody who was not shitting on K-On! On YouTube, and now there's tons of people who write praise pieces about it, and of course about Kyoto Animation. So yeah, I would say pretty good stuff. I would rewrite it if I were like. I think that it's very erratic because it was like I was figuring everything out as I went, and it was like this magical kind of unveiling. I think that the reputation of this being my favorite show very much like it had only become my favorite shortly before making this video. I had decided that when I made this top 10 video, like my top 10 favorite anime. Yeah, right here. I had announced K-On! As my number 1, and that had been just based on my most recent viewing of it. And then because so many people were like, I can't believe you would put K-On! As number 1. How can you take yourself seriously as an anime critic? That made me feel the need to go and explain it.
Yeah.
And I had never been able to. Because, like, in the video, I'm just like, I can't really even put my finger on it. You know, it's just so good. And, like, so I then had to go and put my finger on it. So
put your whole fucking dick on it.
It's very messy, but it makes a lot of good points. And, you know, got a lot of people into the show. More SAO. Definitely top. These videos are fucking hilarious. A meditation on Lucky Star, why context matters. I love this video. I would put it in the top tier. It was just, you know, it's about what it's about. This is just me explaining that Garzy's wing is hilarious. It's pretty shit. So I think I'd probably put it in shit tier. I think I just got drunk and was laughing about Garzy's wing, basically. This, I don't remember which Shield Hero this is. I'm sure it's one of the earlier ones. Shit tier. Why not? This is my top 5 scariest anime video.
Oh my god, I remember this one.
Shit tier. Tamako Market, a comfy community. This is another, like, okay, so we're in my first ever Mia Mathova right here. This is where from this... was it the Fate Zero or the Design to Go On? I think it was from Fate Zero onwards. From this video onwards I made a video every day for the entire month of October. I had already prepared most of these Kara no Kyokai videos before the month started, and I had already been working on this Fate Zero video. And then the rest of them were just day by day, I made a video. Not unlike the August month, which we haven't even gotten to somehow. I don't know why those haven't come up yet. I don't know what the fuck the organization of this is.
Oh my god, we have over an hour left.
Yeah, there's, like, the whole August videos are all down here for some reason.
So
I don't know why. But yeah,
I thought we were making progress.
No. So this was the first Mia Mathova I did. I'm going to probably shotgun through a lot of these because a lot of them are not that good. So Tamako Market 1, low tier, just basically quick point about the show. This one is, Shade would read the title of an anime that he didn't recognize, and I had to try to remember what it was about while drunk. It's fine, I guess. I can't even put it in low tier, right? Can I? No, it's pretty shit. This is me just explaining my entire history with anime. I've done it better in other places later. Shit. This one's actually pretty fun. It was anime I've never heard of, Phantom Quest Corp. And the idea here was that I would buy some random anime from the store that I never heard of, take it home, watch it, and review it. And so it starts with me, like, doing a reaction. Like, I just cut all the funny parts out of my reaction to the show, and then at the end I talk about it. It's low tier. It's above shit tier, but it's not good. Secret World of Arietti video, low tier. What is anime and what isn't? This is one of my most important videos. Devu's magnum opus of editing from the time, back in Power Director. I would say this one is high tier. I don't think it's top tier, but it is important.
I don't think it's top tier either, but I think it's great.
I love this video. What are Annie Mini DVDs?
Oh my god, the Annie Mini DVDs.
This is just one of those weird fucking oddities videos that I really enjoyed. I would put it in high tier. Indeed. I like it a lot. The first year anime sucks. SAO, definitely top tier. That was the one edited by me. Then we've got Bakuman versus Blue Blazes, the story of an artist as a young man. Nobody watched this, but I was fairly proud of it. I'd probably put it in mid-tier. The editing's not very good. I think Victor edited this. Or no, Victor tried to edit it, but his edit was so bad that I tossed it and did it myself, I think. But the edit, it's not great. It's a mildly interesting video. We'll just put it at that. This looks like one of the newer Log Horizon ones. It is. Yeah, I think I would put all the Log Horizons one in top tier. I'm quite proud of them. Maybe high. No, I think I like my Log Horizon series.
I like it too.
I think I'd put it in top tier. I just really enjoy the writing of them in general. This is my Ponyo commentary, which is pretty good. I'd probably put it in mid tier. It's an enjoyable commentary. I had the art book, so like a lot of what I talk about comes out of the art book.
That's pretty neat.
This is one that I always forget fucking exists, but I do like it a lot, which was a visual breakdown of Psycho-Pass 1, Episode 1 versus Psycho-Pass 2 Episode 1, because, like, the first thing that had struck me, this was, like, early into Psycho-Pass 2 airing, was just that it looked like dog shit. And so I broke down, like, the visuals extensively. I like this video a lot. I would definitely put it in at least high tier, if not top tier. It's one of my favorite visual analysis. This Petit Cosette video is low tier. Should you watch Kaiba? Shit tier. Literally just an attempt to do demos. Should you watch as an experiment? It didn't go well. My top 10 favorite anime. Out of date. Not even well done. Definitely shit. Ooh, this one's pretty okay. This was another Devu one. Because there were a few that Devu did or edited throughout this this month here. This one was... What the fuck is it called? The problem with adapting fights from manga and light novels. So, just basically, you know, breaking down their issue, mid-tier. Alright, 8 Nights of Kara no Kyokai. Part 8 was shit. Because it was just like, hey, all the things that came out after the first 7 movies sucked, and I have nothing to say about them, so here's your disappointing finale to this video series. So the ones I remember being good, I know the first one's pretty good. Second one's probably just okay. Third one had an interesting central conceit. I barely remember this one. This one's really interesting editing. And this one is very emotional. So I'm going to just go ahead and burst through them. 7 is mid-tier. 6 is shit-tier. 5 is... I want to say high tier just for the editing gimmick being so fucking bizarre. Which Shield hero is this? God damn it!
So many Shield bros.
No, this is They Had Me Feeling Like Shield Hero.
Meanwhile, they got me over here feeling like the motherfucking Shield hero. I wake up, all my shit's gone, can't post nothing, submit to counter notification rejected by YouTube, no reason, no explanation. I got some third-party motherfucker. What's going on? I haven't been able to post before this happened. Stuck it out. You want Hero Weekly to pop?
I think this deserves to be in mid-tier.
Yeah.
As a update video, it's probably one of the best that I've done. Oh boy.
You got me out here feeling like the motherfucking Shield hero.
So this is part 4, probably low tier. Part 3, mid tier. Part 2, low tier. And part 1, mid tier. None of them are amazing. This stupid fucking Fate video. It was just like episode 0 of the new Fate Stay Night came out, and I watched it and thought it was okay. And this is a shit tier video. This one is about a cool manga artist who I like, who wrote Alien 9 and a bunch of other stuff. I basically just talk about how he's cool. It's mid tier. This one's about how the new Gundam had started and it was fucking insane. And I just kind of point out how fucking insane it is. Low tier.
Excellent.
Fate Zero analytical review. Just, this is like, okay, in the same way that like all those ones that I was like the Mob Psycho video and those kind of ones that I was down on. This was the prior version of that, which are videos that I actually did put a lot of thought and effort into, but they're just analytical reviews. Like, there's nothing that interesting about them. Like, I still was in the mindset of, like, people want you to give, like, a full review of a show, because that's kind of what it was at the time. Eventually, I just, like, when I would watch those videos back, I would feel like a third of them were totally boring and not worth, you know, like, oh, I could have cut this down significantly, you know, and just made the interesting points. So that's how I feel about a lot of these older videos. Designed to go on forever, Shonen Jump manga. I actually think this one's really interesting. It's just about the structure of how Shonen Jump manga are designed to go on forever. I put it in high tier. Space Dandy, the Man Without a Past. This was just like a random observation on Space Dandy that I thought was neat. Mid-tier. Log Horizon, I'm putting all these in the top tier because I like them a lot.
Excellent thumbnail.
Thank you. That was probably Devu. Maho Shoujo Madoka Magica analytical review is just okay. Mid-tier. Art is all about pressing your buttons. This is the very first thing in the Essential Digibro playlist. It's a massively important point that I think needs to be restated forever, which is that, like, the point of my videos is to... This was actually... the Needle Drop has a comment on this video where he's just like, cool shit, man. Something like that. Yeah, great vid.
Great vid.
But the point I make in this is just that, like, what I will say about a piece of art depends on what buttons it presses. Like, if... You know, there could be one show that I'm not really going to talk about the negatives of it, because those negatives didn't push my buttons, you know. Even though it might have problems, I'm not going to go out of my way to cover every single thing that anybody could say about a show. I'm going to talk about the things that the effect it had on me, you know. So I would say this is a high tier video. It also has really interesting Devu editing. You really get a sense of his aesthetic in that video. My One Piece video, it's fine. I was reading One Piece, came to some conclusions, wrote a thing. Mid-tier. Very popular, though. Used to be one of my, it was one of my top 5 for a very long time, but a lot of stuff has passed it over the years. Nostalgia is good and does not blind. It's kind of a whatever video. This is one that, like, I wrote this script and I was going to just throw it away. But I gave it to Devu to be his first edit so that I could test. Like, I didn't want to give him anything I thought was too important, basically. So I'd say it's a low tier. This one is Your Taste Should Always Be Evolving. It's just me preaching about how your taste should always be evolving. Low tier. Monogatari series analysis. I would put this in high tier. It's a long-ass video talking about the show. Basically, the main thesis of it is, like, trying to break down which parts actually are meaningful and which parts are just self-indulgent. Mm-hmm. It's an interesting take. My guide to blowing money on anime crap.
Oh my god.
30 minutes of me just describing how to spend your money on anime crap. It's mid-tier. It's fine. It's entertaining enough. My first ever mega hit. My second biggest video of all time. Why good anime is hard to make. This is like, okay, the message I'm preaching here is fine, but all of the information is off. Like, and more over time, I feel like I don't even agree with this video. Victor edited this. He did an okay job, but his computer was like fucking having a hernia while it was happening, so it's very awkward. I would just put it in mid-tier. TBH. 5 anime for coping with a broken limb, high tier. Just a really fun comedy video that I love because I had a broken foot.
That's a great video.
Talked about anime about broken feet. Why Let's Plays podcasts and slice of life anime are similar. This one's just okay, mid-tier. This is another Log Horizon in here.
With the cutie.
They're just scattered throughout. Alright. Speed Racer, my favorite superhero cartoon. I think this is a good... it's got all my thoughts about Speed Racer in it. I would put it in high tier. It's pretty good. Embracing the Unquantifiable. This is one of my favorite videos I've ever made. It's definitely going in the top tier. It's just about the idea of, embracing... Well, again, embracing the unquantifiable, and also, like, the idea of the unibrow, like, uniting highbrow and lowbrow art into something that is both. Not that's middlebrow, but that takes everything and puts it together. The unibrow. I love that video. Layered and meta-narratives. This is just me literally explaining the concept of layered and meta-narratives. It's pretty low tier. Depression reviews with Zetsubo-sensei. It's adorable. It's kind of funny. I don't know. Where would you rate this? Mid or high? I can't decide.
I'd say mid-tier.
Like it.
I like it a lot, but
it's not that funny.
I don't know if it's worthy.
This is my shitty Otacon summary vlog. Nobody gives a shit. 10 more must-see anime you can watch right now. Well, there's sure a lot of those.
Baby Digi is so cute.
Oh, man. This is my drunk-ass anime history #1 about robots, but it's really just about Gundam. It's not that great, honestly, in retrospect. I'd put it in low tier. What is this? Summer 2014 anime worth checking out? That sounds like shit tier. Space Dandy. Observations on Space Dandy Season 1. This was actually a bunch of blog posts I had written on my blog, one after each episode of while watching the show, and then I just compiled it all into a video. It's a fun time. I don't think I can put it in high tier. Okay, this one I have a lot of contentious feelings about. Tracing the Lineage of Cowboy Bebop. Edited by Victor. It has some issues. One, the editing was too bombastic. Victor did a lot of work on it, but it's too much. I'm also talking way too fast, and there is no narrative through line to this video. Other than that, I'm going through history in the nature in which it happened. But all this video is a list of names. It's just people, this guy worked on this, and then he worked on this. This guy worked on this and this. And if you happen to know all of these shows, it's great. It is a phenomenal video if you know all these shows. If you don't know all these shows, you could not possibly give a shit. So I have to put it in mid-tier. At the time...
It's like the book of Job, right? In the Bible, where it's just all names.
That's the...
Is it...
It's not the book of Job,
Numbers?
but it's called Numbers.
Oh my god.
It's like that. It's... At the time, I thought it was like the greatest thing I had ever made in my life. In retrospect, I am not so hot on it. The Tales of... Well, okay, this is just a redirect video. Do we count this?
We've done it for everything else.
All right.
Tales of.
If we're counting this as the
Oh
Tales
my
of
God,
Tales
I love that
of,
video.
I would put it in...
Top tier.
You think top tier?
I think so.
I can't decide if I want to put it in top or high. Well, I haven't really rewatched it because it's kind of recent. Because the thing is, it's very long. The early part is really interesting where I'm talking about the history of the games and like how they all compare, and then it just becomes like, a games analysis. I mean, I guess that's good, right? Why am I beating up myself for that?
It is a games analysis.
I like it. It's a good video. I should stop being so hard on myself.
And then it becomes a games analysis. Dude, it's a games analysis.
Yeah, this is a shit tier video, but this one's great. So, analyzing what good directing looks like in Zanko no Terror Episode 1. It's like frame by frame, me just talking about how...
Is that a shot from an anime? Because like at the angle I'm sitting at, it looks really good.
It looks incredible. The show looks incredible.
It's like a fucking picture.
But yeah, this is a pretty good video. I would put this at high tier. It's one of my better visual breakdowns.
It looks like one of those Are You Human tests where it's like, click the one with trees.
Hey, it's my fucking blog background.
Yeah.
10 seconds that...
What is that from?
Terra Online. 10 seconds that capture the appeal of Terra Online. It's my character. She's my fucking... This is what I see as myself in my mind, okay? This is...
No judgment.
High tier. I like it. Well, maybe it's only mid-tier. Yeah. We'll just put it in mid-tier. It's not like a super interesting point. I was just very proud of how tight that video was. All You Need Is Kill, the book versus the movie. Nobody gives a shit. What is this one? Expanding the convo on difficulty in games.
Is that a Mountain Dew shirt?
This is another one that I think Needle Drop had commented on, or maybe he just thanks for this.
What does your shirt say?
New York City.
Why is it Mountain Dew though?
I don't know. My parents gave it to me because it had Mountain Dew.
Oh my god, that's really weird.
This video is just basically me saying that we should talk about both skill floors and skill ceilings. It's very out of date. Like, at the time, it was a new thing. Now it's not. So I'd put it in shit tier. Psycho-Pass, my original analytical review of Psycho-Pass is just fine, I guess. I don't even think I could put it in mid-tier because I wouldn't watch it again over all the other Psycho-Pass content I've done. There's another 5 anime you can watch right now. This is my video about Eden of the East. God, some of these thumbnails, like, all I would have to do is update this thumbnail, and this video would probably have made 4 times the views by now. But yeah. Eden of the East video is okay. Probably low tier. I don't really think it's all that memorable. Ooh, my Ghost in the Shell franchise overview. This is a top tier video. Fuckloads of research, fuckloads of analysis. I really think I got to the heart of Ghost in the Shell. I'm still pretty proud of that one. Armitage the Third and the History of Pioneer. This is another kind of oddities video. I think it's pretty good. Not as good as some of the others. I'd put it down here. The Flanderization of Akihabara. Now we're suddenly going to be back up at the new shit, aren't we? I kind of forgot about this video. It was part of the editing of this kind of created a direct through line to the Otaku Gonzo Journal video. But yeah, it was just about, well, you know, as the title says, I think this one's great. I would put it in high tier.
It's a great time. I've seen it many times. My
Transistor analytical review, nobody gives a shit. My original Log Horizon video was just okay. I revisited it more recently and just thought it wasn't interesting, so I'd put it in low tier. Sword Art Online and Analytical Diatribe, the OG, the video that started me as an anime YouTuber, pretty much. And it's gotten a video that is an hour long with no footage from the show that has managed to get over 1 million views, if I remember correctly. Yeah, 1.2 million views. Pretty fucking ill. I still love it. It's still a lot of fun to listen to. I even think that the awful looking game footage is pretty weirdly engaging. So I would put this in top tier. It has to be. How could it not?
I agree.
My Serial Experiments Lane. This is the worst part of the Lane series. It's the one where I'm just like explaining the history of the show. Not that interesting. Low tier. All of the Lane videos are pretty fun because they're all weird experiments. Though it definitely goes downhill about halfway through because like I just had a lot more to say about the first episodes than I did about the later ones. So I think I'm going to put parts 4, 5, and 6 into the mid tier and the other ones in high tier.
Okay.
I don't think you've seen these yet because you haven't watched Lane yet, right? Or did I show them all to you?
You showed them to me.
Okay. How to get into current anime. Well, that's not even what this one is. This one is Spring 2014 anime worth checking out. No thank you. Shit tier. How to get into current anime was just me trying to explain to people literally how to get into anime because most of my audience was not anime fans. I think everybody knows now. It's low tier.
Oh my god, this video.
I like this video a lot. It's do you feel like a local of the place you live?
We have to watch it again now that we live in VAB.
Oh yeah, that'll be really interesting to see because like my perspective will be very different from how it was at the time. But yeah, this is an interesting one. I think I'd put it in high tier. I really like the idea of that vlog. Which lane is this? Number 5. That would be mid tier. All of them I have to put in at least mid-tier just because of the experiment of it, like of what I was doing with the tone of these videos. I had so much fun making them. Netflix has Ava, now they just need X. The only good thing about this video is the thumbnail and just how sarcastic and assholey it is, but it's definitely not not a really worthwhile video. This one's kind of cool. It's the... Oh god, where the fuck even is it? I thought it... Yeah. Can you spot a unique anime series by its episode count? Another one that was an import from my old blog, just talking about how shows with 11 or 22 episodes tend to be really interesting and distinctive. I'd put it at mid-tier. It was also supposed to be... I was going to use it to pitch myself to Idea Channel to try to get an anime idea channel for myself.
Oh, I see.
But I did not even bother going through with that. The other Lane videos I would put in high tier. They are a really interesting experiment that I had a lot of fun doing. And I want to make more stuff like it. Alright. 2 nights, 2 shows, 2 crowds, a social observation. This one's okay. I'd put it in mid-tier. It's just kind of me ranting about going to a couple of shows and observing the crowds at them.
I don't think I've ever seen that one.
We have to watch it. Maybe we'll even change its place. my Game of Thrones video that did not appeal to anyone because everybody else was already watching it and didn't need to be convinced of it, and I did. So I'm like, here's how Game of Thrones won me over, and everyone was like, I don't care.
I love where you've chosen to film it, though.
Yes, I filmed it in my castle house. And I also was like really trying to look good. Like, I'm wearing one of Victor's shirts in this video because it was like a good, just like clingy to your chest kind of thing. I had him like, prim my hair. Like, I was trying to make this appeal to normies, but unfortunately my lighting is dog shit, so I'm casting shadows on my face super hardcore the whole time. And it's also I look like sin. I've definitely gotten better looking than this. Yeah, I would say it's pretty low tier. This is my just like quick video about Little Busters. I don't even really remember it. It's shit. Useless anime review, Samurai Flamenco. Nothing special about this.
Is that the one you made for your ex-girlfriend?
Not for her, but because of the fact that she had been that was like right after we had broken up, and she had just gotten really into that show, so I watched it because of the fact that she had been talking about it, and I kind of hoped she would watch the video, but whatever. Useless anime review, Samurai Flamenco is not that good. I'd probably put it in shit tier. The one on Wolf's Rain is just low tier. I pretty much just did that because I was subjected to Wolf's Rain, and I was like, well, at least I can get something out of the experience of having to watch this show. Useless anime knowledge, Ergo Proxy sucked. Shit tier. Ooh, Witch Log Horizon. This is the first part of the newer series, so that'll go in the top.
Excellent.
Okay. Sonic
gotta fix fast.
Shit.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
Borderline
maybe should delete tier. Yeah, probably should just delete it. But I need that ad revenue. Let's see. Why Kirby games are fun. This is a pretty good video. Not exceptional. We'll say mid tier.
Now we've gotten into the alpacas.
Oh yeah, we've gotten into some real deep old shit, and somehow the August videos are still to come. Or like the whole midsection of 2018. See the bottom.
Praise the Lord.
Quick analysis on The Wind Rises. I didn't even think this video was still up. I thought this had been taken down. It's alright. It's probably mid-tier. It just had trailer footage. But it's kind of emotional. Useless anime knowledge, Samurai Champloo is probably the best of the useless anime knowledge videos. It's actually pretty good. I think I would put it in... Ooh. I'm tempted to put it in top tier. I really appreciate the amount of research I did.
Yeah, it was very thorough.
I broke down like the themes of the show pretty deeply. Like I thought I pretty much got into the bones of that shit. My Catherine review, I don't even remember being worth watching. I think this is useless anime knowledge, Intro to Manglobe Studio, with no indication whatsoever of its being that in the thumbnail. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck I was thinking with that backdrop. This one's good, though. I would put this one in high tier. I like it.
That alpaca is different than the other ones. It's, like, more fluffy.
This is not an alpaca. This is a dinosaur. It is a brontosaurus or something. But cute. This one is the alpaca.
Yeah, okay.
The Frozen review it's pretty good. It's honestly, like, when I listened to it, I was like, wow, I got a lot more out of Frozen back then than I did now. Like, my opinion of this movie soured considerably in the time since making this video. But it was a collab with Clover Keane. Both of us had alpacas talking for us. It's pretty adorable. I think I'd put it in mid-tier. If you like Frozen, though, you should definitely watch that video. This is my Wind Waker HD review. It's okay, mid-tier. This is my one. Okay, this video is very awkward. It's why and how I play games and why reviewers should tell you this. I really like the point I was trying to make in this video, but I did not make it well, and the voiceover is bad. So I would put this in low tier. My video just explaining the history of Art Picasso's. Pretty interesting. This is like an early oddities video.
Yeah.
Mid-tier. It's nothing that special. My Pokemon, analyzing Pokemon Y by way of Fire Red It's alright. Mid-tier. Just general points about Pokemon Y. Let's do this one before we move on. Pokemon Generation reaches adulthood. There's a lot of intrigue in here. This was my first attempt to make like a big documentary style video that had like combination live action and written parts that tried to be like super comprehensive about like the evolution of Pokemon up to this point and like of my experience with it. It's a little cringy. It's a little all over the place. The live action bits are not well done. So I would say it's mid-tier. I still appreciate the effort.
Yeah, there's still a lot to get out of it. I like it.
Okay, now we're suddenly in 2018 summer, so we can finally scroll back out of this ghetto we've dug ourselves into. Alrighty. Okay, we're right around here. So
was it an anime of the week?
I think so, but I don't know which one. No, it's a SAO. I think it's I Don't Give a Fuck Anymore, which is just kind of the cancellation of that series. It's pretty low tier, that one. Ghibli Cast. Porco Rosso Ghibli Cast was really good. I would put that in high tier.
A great podcast. One of the best podcasts on your channel.
I love all the Ghibli casts. This one is... Which SAO is
the
this?
fight scene.
Unironically best episode. This one's mid-tier. It was... Like, I basically was, like, hyping up an episode of SAO just because I'm talking about SAO. So I don't know. It feels skeevy in a way. Steins Gate Zero sucks. Part 4, the worst part of Steins Gate Zero. This is the one that has the whole Artso Fartso bit, which I really, really like. So I'm going to have to put it in at least high tier.
That's the best part.
Okay. Part 3, I would also put in high tier. I think they're all pretty much high tier. I don't think any of them's top tier, but they're all high tier. This one is SAO Weekly. Seriously, guys, it's SAO where I'm just like, guys, it's Sword Art Online. Of course it sucks and it's boring. And this was like the most popular one just because it was just a straightforward me ripping on the show again. Like, I guess people didn't want all this weird experimentation of other shit I was doing. But yeah, it's just like mid-tier. It's just fine. Just shitting on SAO again. All these parts are going in high. This one is the most experimental video I have ever made, where I just read a long section of an Oscar Wilde story and matched the dialogue just to show how much fucking exposition there was in this episode. I think it's pretty hilarious. I would probably put it in high tier. It's pretty memorable.
It's good for a meme.
This was going in high tier. And I also think my first one goes in high tier because it was really funny and I actually put a lot of effort into the editing gags in that one. Mm-hmm. It was the most original. This Sonic video, mid-tier, I guess, right? Mid, low? What would you say about this one?
I'd say mid-tier.
Yeah.
I'd say it's fine.
The Sword Art Online progressive being utterly dog shit video. I would put that in high tier.
Me too.
It's a lot of fun. What is Deep? This was basically created just to advertise the I Am Games channel. So I'd probably put it in low tier. The De-Evolution of Tsundere. This was pretty good. I don't know if... I definitely wouldn't put it in top tier. I'd put it in high tier just because it's not really researched. It was basically just like...
I brain blast.
Yeah. Like, I mean, we were walking down the street and I just explained this stuff to you and then said that would be a good video. Like, so, it's interesting, I guess. The Darling in the Franxx video.
And I edited the first 3 seconds of.
Yeah, I thought this one was pretty good. I don't know if I'd... Would you put it in high tier or mid tier? I mean, it's pretty entertaining.
I put it in high tier. I like it.
All right. Yeah, I think it's pretty good. Fucking Sword Art Online is better than Shinsekai Yori. I love this video.
Top tier.
I would put it in... Yeah, I think I'd put it in the top tier. God damn it.
No.
It was a Devu spent a fucking month editing this video. It's very controversial because obviously a lot of people don't agree with me, and a lot of people think that the points I made were not valid in one way or another, but I think I stand by everything I said in this. It's definitely entertaining. I don't know if I'd put it in top or high tier, but since you want it in top tier, I'm putting it in top tier. I'm just going to not be too hard on myself over the fact that it has a lot of dislikes. This is Failing as Fast as Possible, the vlog where I just take pictures, like short clips of me all over the kitchen. It's better than most vlogs of this nature. I'd put it in mid-tier.
Okay.
It's got an interesting point. I was wrong about Crunchyroll. This is the one where I'm just calling out old anime writers and being like, why don't you talk about anime on YouTube? It's low tier. It's not that special. Why season 3 of Haruhi is never happening. Low tier. Not worth returning to, really. This is, by the way, we're in the second Mia Mathiva that I did. This is the one that was for August. How they marketed episode 1 Be the Beginning. Definitely top tier. I love this video. I love how experimental it is. I love all the research that went into it. I think the only thing that would prevent it from being god tier is that the subject matter was not that interesting. Like, Be the Beginning was a mildly interesting show to talk about the marketing of. And had the video come out when it was relevant and, like, at the height of that, it would have been a great springboard into better episodes of the series. But I'm still really proud of how it came out. It's a highly entertaining video.
I don't think the show was ever really relevant either.
No, but, like, I just mean if the video had come out at the time so that I could use it to springboard into Pop Team Epic, which was supposed to be episode 2. So, the Otaku Healing Springs video, Otaku Culture Oasis.
Oh,
this
fun.
ain't that. Yeah, probably mid-tier. Just for the conceit of it. The fucking
I like this one
Rainbow Ranch one, cramming anime in your face. I think I'd put it in high tier, personally. It's just an oddities video, but one that's got really energetic editing and production.
Oh my god.
Pokemon was dark AF. WTF. This is literally created as clickbait, and it worked. You had this idea because, okay, so Dear Crunchyroll Stop had come out, and that had been your idea. You were like, you should talk about this Crunchyroll thing just because it's big in the news right now. And it blew up, so I was like, you need to be my SEO. Like, you just tell me what's going on, what's relevant. And you were like, well, Twitch is streaming all of Season 1 of Pokemon, so if you can think of something about the original Pokemon. And, like, I didn't think I would. And then you said something about, like, what about the gym leaders or something? And I just thought about the first episode, and I was like, man, Brock's situation was pretty fucked up. I'm going to make a video about that. And, yeah.
Oh my god, it's so stupid. I can't believe it got so many views.
It wasn't initially a big success. Like, at first I thought, oh, it didn't work. But, like, over time, sure enough,
God.
the cows came home to roost. So I would put that at mid-tier. It's enjoyable. My No Game No Life video. Wait, which one is this? This is the Dreams of a Better Anime Industry video. This one is just okay. It probably is mid-tier, but I'm going to put it in low just because I would not return to it. It's boring. Why Crunchyroll is ineffective anime support. Like, all of this was just me writing on the fact that this video was so successful and, like, trying to continue the train of mentioning Crunchyroll so that I could get views, which worked. So I don't really care about these videos in retrospect. I'm sure I was into it at the time, but, like, I don't really care anymore. Night is Short, Walk On Girl. This is the one where I'm just getting drunk and doing weird shit. Probably mid-tier. Dear Crunchyroll Stop, I would put in mid-tier as well. It's, you know, it's entertaining for what it is. It was very topical.
It's powerful.
Made a lot of fucking views. The Only Yesterday podcast. I love this podcast. I think I'm tempted to put it in top tier. I'll put it in high tier. I don't know. It might be my favorite Ghibli cast.
It's really good.
No, it's my second favorite. My favorite is probably the Grave of the Fireflies one because I felt like I fucking cracked the code on that movie so hard. The problem with anime subtitles is another one that was basically just clickbait. Mid-tier. It's whatever. Satisfying video. Ooh, it might just be God tier. It might just, bitch, I might. What do you think? God tier or top tier?
I thoroughly love it, so.
There's a couple of clips that I don't think are as satisfying or funny as other clips, but the parts that work are so memorable. I mean, this is where Big Cum came from as a meme. Fuckers in the Franks. Fucking kill. I mean, it's like the most powerful meme video I've ever made.
It's one of the most powerful meme videos in existence.
I'm gonna put it in top. I don't think I can put it in the God tier, but I love that video. Let's see. This one is how I really feel about the anime community. This was just a filler video that I knew with that title would get views, and it did.
It did.
So, shit tier. This one's 80/20 baby, also shit tier. Just filler.
Didn't you make that at my parents' house?
Yes, I made both of those at your parents' house, I think. Low tier, because it's another... The No Game No Life video I like a lot. This is the proper Otaku
How is
Heroes
that thumbnail
video.
okay?
I think I had to replace it once. I think I had to I had something else that was even racier. I don't know if I'd put this in high tier or top tier. What do you think? Because it's
I'd probably put it in high tier. Like,
yeah, it's not as
it
entertaining
lot,
as the ones that are up there, but it is a good analysis video. Was this still thinking about Madarame breaking his hand? That's mid tier. I mean, a lot of these are basically just filler to get through having a video every day. The SAO fucking finish or fail full dive. This one's it's just mildly entertaining. I'd put it in low tier.
Mm-hmm.
I remember this being a pretty good Little Witch Academia one, mid tier. Still thinking about Myoiga, low tier, because I didn't even bother rewatching the show or saying anything about it, really. I was just like, hey guys, we should give this show more credit. You should do that. Rebuild of Digibro, low tier. Who cares? Still thinking about Isaiah getting punched. I like this one.
I like this one.
I think I'd put it in... I might even put it in high tier. I just like the conceit of it a lot. I think it's a fun video. This is just me listing my top 27 favorite anime, low tier. Compress, decompress, I would put in high tier. This was a really interesting experiment. It took a lot more time than it should have, but I thought it was pretty cool. 10 random anime facts. This is pretty ass. I'd probably put it in low shit tier. This is more Let's Argue. You Will Drop Everything. This one I like a lot. It's a very dark concept of a video. I would put it in the high tier. Which one is this? The fucking Maoi face.
The Purpose of Anime. Scroll down.
Oh yeah. Or How to Analyze Anything. This was a vlog. This was when I was on my Galaxy Brain shit. When I was on my post... when I just felt like I had cracked the code and everything was obvious, and it was frustrating to me that everybody else didn't think so. It's probably mid-tier. It's an interesting point, but it's just a vlog. 10th Dimensional Daimao, definitely top tier. One of my favorites. I love this rap. Your verse is incredible.
Your verse is
My verse is
incredible.
the best anime rap verse of all time. Anybody who doesn't get that being the bastard son of Demon Bane and Lambda Delta wrapped up in the pelt of Arceus, you can't kill that. Like, after I wrote that line, anime rap was over. Like, Nino had sent me the beat for this year's Cypher, and I was just like, what do I do with this? Like, I can't beat bastard love child of Demon Bane and Lambda Delta wrapped up in the pelt of Arceus. Like, that is the ultimate wham line. Alright, the anime of the week videos are, I mean, this was just an attempt to try to be current, and I thought that would work, and weirdly, being current never seems to work out for me, like trying to talk about shit while it's airing. It's never benefited me that much. The first two were okay, because the first one's like 20 minutes broken up into two parts. The second one's 13 minutes, and then the last one was just like a quick little, well, I've dropped most of everything
most
at this
of this
point.
is garbage.
So this one, I would say, is probably low to shit tier. I mean,
I can't believe you watched so much of that show.
I watched 3 episodes. It was okay.
Yeah.
But, Push Meme to the Edge, All My Faves Are Dead is another one I have to put in high tier because it's just such a weird concept.
Yeah.
The Spoken No Hero one, mid to low. I liked the editing gimmick of it because it was all live action. But the point I was making was like just basically what everybody already thinks about this show. Yeah, I'd put it in low tier as well. I like this one. I would put this in mid tier. It was the one about how the Alucard's scene was a ripoff from that movie that me and Tom watched.
That was really fun.
Yeah, this was like a 2-minute video, right?
Yeah, it was.
I might even put it in high tier. I like this video a lot. It's even less than 2 minutes. And half of it is just the end screen of my song. Yeah, I love that video. I love just doing like really tight little well-edited videos that are like funny and entertaining and don't last long. Like that's how I would also characterize the cramming anime in your face video. You know, it's just like in and out, but every part of it is fun. These ones, the other anime of the weeks are all going in low tier. It's just, you know, it's very transient content. Kiki's Delivery Service. This was probably the least interesting Ghibli cast, but it's still good. I think I would put it in the mid tier because I put the other ones in high tier.
Oh my god, I hope there's another Ghibli cast.
I hope
What's
so
the next
too.
movie?
The next movie would be Ocean Waves.
I think that's why it hasn't happened.
No, it's because Devu disappeared.
No, I know. But...
And people, like, when we did the last one without Devu, people were like, oh, you should...
God damn it, you need Devu.
People literally said, I will wait as long as it takes if you can get Devu
No,
back.
I feel the same way.
My Land of the Lustrous video is just mid-tier. It's just pretty general Land of the Lustrous video. Here's another Let's Argue. Low tier. These go in low tier. I totally forgot about this Watch Gundam video where I'm just like, hey, you should watch Gundam. Mid-tier. It's basically just Watch Gundam. My Mimi video is going in high tier. Very proud of the fact that I made this video and edited it in an hour because I just knew the show so fucking well. But yeah, I feel like it was an angle, like it was like one of the few things that people had not said about Fooly Cooly, and I felt like she was kind of a keystone to being able to sum the show up really easily. It's also just like, I made the show seem very easy to understand in that video. Like, the first 3 minutes of it is just me explaining the whole fucking show in, like, a couple sentences, you know? The My Neighbor Totoro Ghibli cast, another one I would just put in mid-tier. It's pretty good.
You watch it on acid.
Yeah, that's right. Choose My Daily Anime Reviews. This should probably be deleted. Since it's the one where I'm saying, let's reach 1 million subscribers by the end of the year. Yeah.
Lol.
That went well. Digibro versus Everybody announcement video.
You're just announcing that.
Yeah, it's just an announcement video. Here's the Finish or Fail full dive, right? Is that what it's called? No, Finish or Fail 2018 Anime Round 1. A lot of fucking work went into this video. I really like parts of it a whole lot. Parts of it didn't probably need to exist, but I still gotta put it in. I want to put this in top tier, but it belongs in high tier because it was just talking about that show the way I did was not the smart decision to make. It was not going to resonate with people, even if I think I'm correct. It was just not the best way to talk about that show, and the other two shows I didn't have that much interesting things to say about. The main focus of this was the editing. It was about all my weird experimental shit trying to launch how they marketed. The whole end, like, 8 minutes of ending editing that I did leading into the song. Like, that's the part I love.
Yeah.
And it deserved
Weird
better.
anime sex.
Weird anime sex is great. I would put it in high tier.
Yep.
I wrote this video for like 4 years before it got edited. But it was a lot of fun. Next up, we have accepted mediocrity. God tier. Obviously, Devu's editing was utterly fucking
Divine.
insane.
This is a fucking work of art.
It's another one that was just an unscripted video that there's probably parts that could be cut from it, but I mean, what Devu did with it is so fucking next level. Yeah, we were never gonna top that. So that's probably my second favorite video I've ever been involved with after this one. I'm gonna organize the top tier here. Or the god tier rather. So these belong here. Then I would say the Asterisk Score Sucks final parts. Plebe and the Weeb can stay where it is. Aesthetic is narrative. Then the high school one. Then Ano. Yeah, this can go... Actually, this could probably go up here. And then this one can go in front of this one. No, not there. Yeah, there you go. This is my organization of my top favorites.
That makes me so happy.
There's still something down there. Yeah, just another Let's Argue. That's going in low tier. All right. So I've made what I would consider 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I'm going to combine these two and think of this as... Well, I'll combine these two as well and think of it as just a top 10. These are my top 10 best videos I ever did. The Great Anime Director Who Time Forgot, We Have Accepted Mediocrity, The Asterisk Score Sucks Parts 12A and B, Plebe and the Weeb, which is really Jesse's video. That's the only reason it's up here. You can't even really think of this as mine. I'm just in it. Aesthetic is narrative. Fucking The Asterisk Score Sucks Part 9. The Last High School Anime. Who is Hideki Otto Parts 1 and 2. 6 Things I Want from Anime Romance. And Anime is Getting Lazy with its Meta. Actually, I thought I was putting that in top tier. I don't remember putting that in God tier. Do you?
I remember you putting in God tier.
Well, I guess it's going in God tier.
This is
I think I would... No, I can't put this up there with those other videos. It's not as good as those.
Well, it was a top 10 before.
Yeah. Let me see. I'm looking through just to see if anything needs to be moved down, you know. Appeal of Art House could probably be moved down to high tier.
Yeah.
These are all good. Quite proud. Quite proud. Man, looking at this makes me feel all sorts of bubbly feelings in my tum-tums. Master of the Background can probably go down to high tier. Let's see. What was this one? Oh, it's the SAO video redirects. Just making sure I'm completely satisfied with this as my top tier. This one's going down to high tier. And this one as well. And this one would, but I just like what it was about too much. Yeah, I think this checks out. I think this is pretty much what I would consider my top tier content. Through this, I could put together a playlist of like the best Digibro content.
You should. You should just put it in the description. Like, hey, if you want to watch all the good videos, here's a fucking playlist.
It's pretty well balanced between videos I've made that I consider great or good or okay, and then the ones that even I think are total dog shit. Thankfully, a lot of these are old. I feel good that most of the shit tier is like from 2014.
Map of a content.
Yeah, so I'm happy with myself. I'm downloading this.
Yes.
And that's it. See you later, everybody.